is. If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the HHH Racing Podcast Weekend Warriors edition number 5. I'm your host, Howard Kravitz, along with good friends, co-host Chris Walsh, and the bottom of the screen, Mr. Patrick Kunzel. We are here to give you live racing analysis at Saratoga, Delmar, Woodbine, and Monmouth, with live video coming from Monmouth and Woodbine. It is Jim Dandy Day. It's also an unbelievable card at Delmar today as well. They have a great late pick 5. We'll be talking about the early races as well. Chris and Patrick, how are things going today, guys?
Good. It's finally nice to be on with Chris.
Nice to be on with you, Patrick. I was on with Mr. Kravitz earlier today for the Saratoga today, so that went all right. I think I had the early double there, Howard.
It went very well, Patrick. You know what happened with me in the early pick 5. I showed you the ticket, correct?
Yeah, I think it must have been a good show for you guys this morning because Howard hit the early pick 5. Or was it the early or the middle?
The early. And you know what I ended up doing, Chris, and I'd be happy to show the ticket if anyone cares to see it. But you know what I decided, Chris, after looking at the workouts on Arthur's ride, I just made a decision to toss them. I didn't use them in my main pick 5 ticket. I went 2, 3, 4, 5. I just had some guts, and I just didn't love a lot of things. I mean, he was my top pick this morning, but we both said with trepidation completely. And then he had the 7 came through in the last leg. So had a little pick 5 this morning for this afternoon for 800 plus, which was nice. And hopefully we can find some winners again today, Chris, because I'll tell you what, it's a fantastic card all over the place. And there's nothing we'd like to do more than to do this, ladies and gentlemen, on Weekend Warriors. Let's crush it. We want to crush, ladies and gentlemen. That's without the rock music, but we've got plenty of time for that rock music. Here's what we're going to do, Chris and Patrick. By the way, Patrick, congrats on your play of the day on Friday. You called it out on the Wednesday show in the Amsterdam. You loved Smoking Wicked. Wow, was he good in the Amsterdam?
Yeah, that was an awesome performance. I was really happy to finally, you know when you're tailing a horse for a long time and they just can never get it done, you're kind of getting ready to file those papers. And he ran very, very well, and I was really happy the way Brian Hernandez rode him aggressively, because at the top of the lane he just had a burst that was very, very nice.
Yeah, he was absolutely outstanding. Great call. You got 5-2. Was bet down a little bit, unfortunately, but nice call. So the first thing we're going to do, we've got 11 minutes. I'll tell you, I'm going to detour a little bit, guys, based on our pre-production meeting. We're just going to go right into Woodbine here. Woodbine's got 11 minutes. We are going to talk about Saratoga race 8 and, of course, the late pick 5 as well. But Woodbine, we can show the races live. And as I'm bringing up on the screen there, we'll go to race 7 first once my computer. Boy, I'll tell you what, right when I go live, things start going haywire. Chris, as I bring on the Aquabase here in just a minute, tell us a little about race 7 at Woodbine, the condition, the field size, etc. And I'll see if I can work this out on my end here.
All right. Well, we got a maiden special weight here, 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares. $120,000 is the purse. So that's a stakes race at a lot of places. We've got a big, giant field of 11 here. It looks like the 5 is a scratch, and pretty much probably a wide open affair here. Maybe the favorite right now is the 2 off an 8-1 morning line, down to 5-2 at the moment. Seeking. It's the 2 horse, so I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce that. But there's probably a number of ways that you can go here. I'm looking at some notes. I don't see anything in terms of, there could be some level of a setup here with these first timers going too fast that could set up for some level of a closer. I haven't been paying attention much to the synthetic at Woodbine. I really pay more attention to the turf there, but not sure if it's playing speed favoring or not right now. They haven't had any weather, so it hasn't been wet. So probably playing like it normally would be, but let's speed handicap this and, see if we can figure something out. This also starts the late pick 4 at Woodbine. And I know it's a 20-cent base wager, but don't play it for that. Be a man. Play it at the Los Al quarter horse level for $1. That way, when you hit it, you get it 5 times and you don't spread every race.
I like it. We got the PPs up here. Again, apologize for a little bit of delay. I swearing, which was wonderful beforehand. But Patrick, look, I don't know. I know you probably don't bet Woodbine that much, but look, doesn't matter if it's turf, synthetic, dirt. It's a horse race. Patrick, here's what I want to do. And you know what? Again, a little production value in the middle of the show. Patrick, you're an excellent handicapper and you're a young handicapper. You've been only doing this about 5 or 6 years. Let me ask you a question. This might be the first time you're actually looking at this race. And there's 8 minutes. So let's say you got a speed handicap. Why don't you take everyone through your process? You're looking at a race for the first time. Here's the past performances. Why don't you walk us through what you like to do first in order, and then I'll do the same thing after you go through your process in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, no. So the first thing I always do now, now that I have the luxury to look up the time form, is see what the pace looks like. And once I kind of get a feel for what the pace is, obviously this is a maiden race, so we picked a good one for me to explain my handicapping processes. But no, so I'll check what the pace is like, get an idea there, and then I just go through the horses, look at their time form figures, look at their buyer figures, read some of the lines across the lines form, and I'll watch some replays. Now with the maidens, Howard, obviously, we try to get some workout reports if we get some of those. Look at connections, what their numbers are with first-time starters, second time out. I'll go through all different statistics that I can. And with Woodbine, I'm really not. I don't know really the track biases there. I'll let you kind of talk about that. But I do like to have an idea of what how the track plays, because that is something that obviously is very important, especially for these younger races with horses that haven't raced too much.
No doubt. There are biases on the sin, Chris, of course. I haven't watched the races today, so I don't want to just throw crap out there and say what's not true. But looking at this race, and I'll do the same thing. The very first thing I do, ladies and gentlemen, is I do look at the time form, early pace, and try to get the flow of the race. Now, as Patrick said so eloquently, this is a maiden race, and because there's not a lot of data, we don't have that. But we do have, Patrick, the early time form. You see the time form, for example, the one there on the screen, let me just go full screen, has a 77. The 2 and 3 are first-time starters, as is the 4. The 6 has a 97. That's pretty quick. So I expect the 6 to show some speed, although off a layoff. That filly, the 7's a firster. The 8 looks like a come from behind her. The 9 also looks like a come behind. Biles, interesting name. I'm assuming named after Simone Biles, the U.S. gymnast. Also going to come from behind in theory. The 11 more of a closer, and the 12 first-time starters. So, Chris, my first glance is I'd probably want to try to find a horse that's going to show early speed. And the only one that's really done that is proven, that is raced, is the number 6, Lady of the Nile, who's coming off the layoff. So this is a little bit tricky in terms of a race flow situation.
Yes, definitely. I'm looking at my notes and whatnot, and I think here in this spot, we're kicking off the show, and I've had some success the last 3 weeks doing this with some prices. I'm going with 3 prices here to kick this off, Howard. I like your 6. I like the 8 as well, and the 11. I'm going to go with all horses that have had some experience over the racetrack or over racing. The 11's coming off a layoff back in March from Turfway. Not a lot to speak of there, but I think this horse can be one that can be competitive here. And then obviously the 6, Lady of the Nile, you spoke about that. We've got not Kevin, but Sid Attard. Yes. And then the other one would be the 8 Vintage Ring. The other one I gave a little bit of a long shot look at, cutting back to 6.5 off the turf onto the synthetic. So those are the ones that I would use in any kind of multi-race wagers. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything into the 8th that I could potentially double into with those 3 horses and, you know, Dutch them accordingly and whatnot. But
I'm
It's
sure
not there
stakes
yet.
race next, right?
we look at this race totally differently, Chris. We only have 4 minutes. I don't know about you, Patrick. Just looking at it, I don't love a lot of the runners that have already run. I look at the first time starters right away, and I look at the breeding here. The 2 looks like wants to go long, perhaps. I mean, wow, this 2 must have dropped some. Oh, this is half to Seeking the Soul. Okay, well there you go. This 2 could be a very nice horse, but maybe wants long. Although the works are very good, Atfield pretty good, very good first out though. There's a Practical Joke filly here for Josie Carroll out of a Munnings Dam. I'm assuming this one will be a little bit quicker. Ooh, Golden Gate Lines, Chris. How about that for the dam? And then there's another. I would look at the other firster here. Biles is taking a ton of money. This is the other Josie Carroll. Interesting. So Josie Carroll's got a very well-meant firster and a horse that's already. So very interesting here. I would point more, Patrick, frankly, to the first-time starters other than the 10. But Chris has been on fire, Patrick, on the early part of the show. So who the hell am I to question him?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure I want to go against you, Chris, right now.
Well, Pat, yes, I could put the 10 on top of my 3 long shots there in any number of bets and hope to cash as well. But you know, it's a tricky race for sure. Firsters, you know, they can be problematic at some point in time in getting things home and whatnot. I'm just still trying to find something into the 8th race, which is the stakes race.
Okay.
Looking at Candy Quest, that could be just a massive double, which is probably something I'll just do.
Hey guys, I was looking at the at Biles' his first race. She clipped tails really bad.
Oh, did she? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's got to be one of the reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, clip heel. Yeah, okay. Josie Carroll, by the way, is 26% second-time start, lifetime start. So there's that as well. Do we lose Howard? He appears frozen.
I just want to until.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Can you guys hear me okay?
We can, but you're not moving. Now you're moving.
I don't know what's going on here, guys. This is very weird. All right, I
better now,
apologize to
Howard.
everyone.
Yeah.
What's that, Patrick?
You're better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but we'll figure it out. Let me go to the actual race itself because we got 2 minutes. Hopefully, we'll show the video here on screen. Again, I think I'll blame it on Patrick. I don't know, just because I blame someone. Just kidding, Patrick. Let me go ahead and try to get this up on screen here. Again, everything's just working slow, Chris, and I really don't know why, unless you have some ideas or thoughts.
When you're using a Windows machine, that's the first.
Well, I never have problems going live, so I really don't know why it's acting that way, frankly.
Close any Windows you're not using.
Close any windows I'm not using, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good idea, yeah.
I will work on that. I've got actually I got a crap ton of windows open.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, just so we don't have any issues on my end, maybe you go ahead and bring up the audio at least in this race. Can you do that for Woodbine?
I absolutely can.
Okay. And I'm going to try to close some things and see. I mean, there's the same number of tabs I've always had open, though, so I don't know why that would happen. But
if you give me a minute, Howard, I can get you video. Just let me log in.
I can hear you guys fine, but now I'm frozen on one screen. Am I frozen as you guys see it?
You're good.
Okay, that's very weird because I have 2 monitors and one of them is frozen. So, okay. Very interesting. I'm actually looking at my iPad. So if I'm looking down to the right, it's because I've got an iPad that I've got going. And it looks like that's fine. But my actual screen is not on my computer. Very weird. All right. Chris, do you have the audio you can pull up?
Hold on, Howard.
Okay, no problem. I would restart, but then if I restart, guys, the show's going to end, so we can't do that. So, okay, let's try again here. I might be able to bring it up, Chris. Let me see here.
Go ahead, Howard. Share my video.
Actually, I think we're okay here, Chris. Just on time. I think we're okay. Let me bring it up here. No. I can't even bring your video up right now, Chris. I see that you have it, but I can't bring it up for some reason. Sorry, everyone.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's
Biles to the lead, guys.
nice. Now it's up.
No sound though, right?
No sound.
No sound, but we'll worry about the sound. We'll worry about the sound after this race, guys. This 2 is winding up big time, boys. I don't know if he's green as hell though.
All right. Well, we got the favorite to start off there.
Nice gallop out on the 7. Patrick, the 2 is a perfect example of a horse that's going to absolutely love 2 turns, and probably just based on the breeding, and this is a half to Seeking the Soul. I've been assuming the 2 is going to be stretching out to 7 furlongs or maybe a mile and 16th next time, and it will probably be a really nice horse. But Biles obviously broke well, and that was the key, staying out of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Complete opposite of her first time out. And yeah, no, she was impressive. Moran, the jockey, was not even asking of her at the top of the stretch. So yeah, I think she might want to stretch out a little bit too.
Very possible. And again, I think the number 2 is the horse you really want out of this race, probably going forward. What do we got in time-wise at Saratoga, gentlemen?
9 minutes.
Shift. You said 9 minutes?
9 minutes.
All right, let's shift our attention over to Saratoga, guys. And let me go ahead and I know there wasn't sound there. Apologize, but we'll work all the kinks out here, ladies and gentlemen. Saratoga pick 5. Really good sequence. Let me go ahead and bring up the past performances. It looks everything's working a little bit better now. The first race here, the pick. Well, in general, Patrick, I know you looked at the pick 5. Chris, I'm assuming you looked at the pick 5. I studied this pick 5 very hard. It's my main play of the day today. Your thoughts, Patrick? Of course, there's 2 stake races, including the Belmont and Derby champion in the Jim Dandy Sovereignty.
Yeah. Regarding the sequence itself, race 8, I think, is more of a spread. I do have a horse that I do like particularly well in Kenny B, who was the morning line favorite, the 9. Who, I'll play on the win end, but I am going to be 3 or 4 deep in there. The Lake George, listen, it's interesting because I feel like between Lavender Disaster and Classic Q, guys, and I'd like to ask you this question, like odds wise, they're going to be pretty tightly. It's pretty close, right? First and second choice, obviously. So I'm going to try and beat Lavender Disaster. I'm not sure. I do think the 3 Daisy Flyer is a little bit interesting. Yep. So, and I'll toss it to you guys regarding how you would go about separating the 4 and the 5 in that race when constructing a pick 5, because I do think you can separate yourselves between the 2 of them.
I thought, and we talked about this on the show, and you must have watched our show or about the power picks, or maybe you're just that good a handicapper. Lavender Disaster had absolutely no excuses last time. I mean, none. Yep. Now, Andy Sterling actually picked her on the show today, which I thought was interesting because he didn't like her last time. I don't know how they're going to ride. Classic Q sort of freaked last time, frankly, out of nowhere, Patrick, in my opinion. But there's not a lot of speed in this race again, and I'm assuming the 5 is just going to go. Certainly, I don't think you have to go very deep in that race. I think it's between 3, 4, and 5, personally. And then the Jim Dandy, Chris, as I've talked about all week long, I absolutely love Biza here. I think this is the time to beat Sovereignty. My biggest spreads, Patrick, in general, are the first leg and looking at my ticket here, and the fourth leg, which is a very difficult main special weight New York bred race. So for me, Chris, legs 1 and 4, which is races 8 and 11, are the spreads for me. Did you look at the sequence carefully, Chris?
I did. I'm just finalizing my ticket now. 3569, 3569. Let me get one more in here in race 11 to just finalize this, get everything locked and loaded, and I'll tell you what my ticket is going to be.
Well, as you're doing that, let me go to some comments because we have literally like 100 comments and I haven't mentioned any of them yet. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Please spread the word to everyone. We are only on YouTube. As you know, we got Katie's here. We have Terry Frank is here. Brett Anderson is here. Chris Couples. What's up, Chris? Did a great job with us earlier this week. Thank you so much, Chris. Let's see here. I'm just looking through. Tom Espinoza is here in the chat. Wiz is here. Wiz is ready to crush. Hey, Patrick, can you help Terry with this one? He says he needs a summer home in Saratoga. You know about that. Or close to Saratoga.
Terry, let's all go in on a house for the summer. Let's get an Airbnb for a couple months.
There we go. Sylvain is here. He'll be with us in 2 weeks. Patrick will be in Saratoga in 2 weeks. Just to let everyone know. Yep, Terry Frank's going to be there also in 10 days. Okay, and please keep the chats coming here, the comments coming. We've got about 6 minutes. Let me talk through my pick 5 first of all, people that are interested. I'm going to give my bigger ticket out. It's $126. I don't have it scrolling at the bottom. I will say it twice for people that have a lot of faith in me. I'm going in the first leg. I'm really spreading. I'm going 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Again, I'm going 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 in the first leg. Leg 2, I'm going 3, 4, 5. I'm giving people a chance to write it down if they'd like. Sorry, we don't have a scroll for it. I'm going 3, 4, 5 in leg 2. Leg 3, Chris and Patrick, for better or worse, I'm going to, on a caveman ticket, use Baeza and Sovereignty equally. So I'm going 1, 5 in leg 3. Leg 4, I'm going 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. Again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, ladies and gentlemen, in leg 4. And then leg 5, I'm singling the 7 on the end. That is a $126 ticket. I am playing other tickets and doing a few different things on what I'm saying, but I don't want to give out a ticket more than 126. That already seems a bit arrogant or large anyway. Again, my final ticket for people that are interested, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 with 3, 4, 5, with 1, 5, with 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, with 7 on the end, $126. Let's go ahead and, guys, talk about race 8. This is a $95,000 N1X state breds. There's a ton of speed in this race. Patrick, your thoughts in race 8 as I scroll through the PPs?
Yeah, when I was running through the beginning of the pick 5 that you had me go through, Howard, I kind of gravitated towards the 9. And I know he's the morning line favorite. I'm not sure what the current odds are. 4-1, I believe he is right now. The reason I had this horse on top is I think he's just run better than it actually looks in those last couple starts. That last trip was just very uncomfortable. Was stuck on the rail. That was 3 back. I'm just going through my notes here. I think this horse wants to be more forwardly placed. The rating this horse too much sometimes it just hasn't worked. Obviously gets Jose now, which is a major upgrade from last out. So I'm hoping this horse can sit off being drawn outside of the other speed, which should be a benefit.
Yes, and pretty big jockey switch here from Katie Davis to Jose Ortiz. You do have thoughts, Chris, in race 8 to kick off the pick 5 at Saratoga?
All right. Well, I'm not going to repeat it multiple times. It's there in the chat. There it is right there. Oh, this comment has failed to post to HHH Racing Podcast. Well, whatever. Okay, I'll give it to you. Playing a $5 base pick 5 here, kicking it off in race 8, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, with the 5 in race 9, with the 1 in race 10, and then 3, 5, 6, 9 in race 11, and singled Howard to your 7 in race number 12. $5 base, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, with 5, with 1, with 3, 5, 6, 9, with 7. We'll crush our
so we're
bet.
both singling. We're both singling. Again, if there's some issues on the screen, I'm looking at my iPad. It looks like I'm fine, but my actual screen I have that I'm working is not work. Is weird. So sorry about that. You agree with the 7 on the end here. In this particular race, I like the 4. I also like the 5 and 9. I'm using 4, 5, 9 on my main plays, and I'm gonna throw the 10 in there also. The one I'm worried about that I don't have an all guys, or excuse me, I don't have the 7 anywhere, and that the 7 is 6-1. That worries me a little bit. If the 7 wins, then I'll just be simply playing a pick 4, Pat. So that's the way it goes. You can't use you can use everyone, but I'm choosing not to. In watching the races, guys, earlier today, it looked like the track's playing pretty fairly. Would you agree with that, Pat? Did you watch any of the early races today?
Yeah, I did, and I would agree with that. What I think with this type of race too, there's a ton of speed on the inside here. So I'm hoping a couple of the horses that I do like, the 5, 6, 5, 6, and 9 particularly. The 6 is going to go, but I'm hoping the 5 and the 9 can sit off this what looks to be a fast pace.
I agree. Right now, the 2, Stewie, is the favorite. I understand it, but I don't like it at 2-1. Chris, what were your thoughts on the 2? 3-1 right
Probably
now.
people that are favorites for Family Guy.
That could be the case. The break here, I think, is going to be huge here, guys. The break is going to tell a lot.
Over the last 8, the last win coming last fall at Finger Lakes, been a big jockey switch to Iran, obviously. Should be forwardly placed. There should be plenty of speed in here, but I'm using it, but I'm not a big fan. I think I think it'll be one of the most used horses in the pick 5, unless people just opt to play against it. Howard, I do have you covered on audio if you need me to play it. So
I'm actually good as of right now. So I think we got things corrected. I took a few tabs off, and we'll cross our fingers here. Let me give an official pick. I'm going to go 4, 5, 9. You know what, Pat? I like the 9. I'm just going to go with the speed here, guys. I'm hoping the 4 just outbreaks the field and wires the field. The 4 could also finish 8th in this race. It is not a strong opinion because there's a lot of speed. I'll know in the first 3 seconds if the 4 has any chance at all. I'm not playing anything in this race vertically. This is an impossible way to start the sequence, I thought, for sure. Did you find actually we'll get back to that about Woodbine. I'm just looking at some other tracks here. They're circling in behind. I'm sure there is plenty of money in the pools. Pat, we have all you guys. We have quite the group chat, and there's over 1 million in this pick 5 pool. By the way, just wanted to say I'm sure Delmar is going to do great today also. But I got the sound up ready, guys. Let me bring it up here, and should be good. Let me know if you guys hear it
we got Delmar in 30 minutes.
It's post time. They're loading in the gate for the 8.
We're good.
Good.
Okay. We will not talk over the sound again due to Fox copyright issues. We cannot show the video, but we're showing the audio or list. You're going to be hearing the audio. Frank Mermati, we're starting the late pick 5, ladies and gentlemen, on a beautiful Jim Dandy Saturday at Saratoga. Good luck to everyone. Hope you crush your bets.
Reward goes
in the late pick 5 as the 5 is entering. We'll let Frank Mermati take it from here. Good luck, everyone.
All right, we've got a couple left to load. Kenny B standing sideways currently.
As opposed to Kenny G.
Jose Ortiz looking for another. Last one to load is On the Hill.
Pass.
They're in the gate. And they're off. And On the Hill was out very quickly, but it's Blamaker who's intent on getting to the front. And Blamaker, hard-ridden for that speed, now opens up without being asked to do so. A lineup of three chasing. Roofer on the outside is trying to get into second and does just that. They're followed by Leo's Reward. Stewie is on the fence in fourth. 6 lengths off this blazing pace being set. Then busting away on the inside of On the Hill. The opening quarter went in 22 and 1/5 seconds. They move around the far turn, and it is Blamaker still blazing the way in front by 2. Roofer is in second. Leo's Reward inching up a closer third.
I'll take
a
this
gap
5,
of
Pat.
4. Back to Stewie in fourth. That group is followed by Sir Cartwright as they reach the top of the stretch. On the Hill is next, racing 4 in front of Kenny B. Then busting away, and at the back of the field is Very Stormy. They're in the final furlong. Blamaker comes up empty. Leo's Reward is up to take the lead. Stewie takes dead aim on the outside, and in the center, here's On the Hill, and Katie Davis joining the party late. Coming to the 16th pole, a head-and-head battle for the wire. Stewie on the outside's trying to get up. Here it is. Photo finish.
Oh my God.
Reward hit the wire together. On the Hill was third. Behind them, Roofer.
There was a bump, guys, mid-stretch, too. There was a pretty... I think the 2-1, which is... Boy, Pat, the 5-1, that's would be a hell of a way to start our ticket.
Absolutely. I've got the goal ready.
I think the 2-1, there's also a pretty big bump here in mid-stretch. I'm not sure who caused it. Let's see here. I've got this...
Wow.
Boy, after the wire, the 2-1 for sure.
Yeah.
After the wire, the 2-1. I don't know. Well, I think it's the 2 or the 5 for sure, obviously.
Yeah.
They put up the 2.
Of course.
Gosh darn it. After all that, the chalk wins.
Yeah. The chalk at 3-1 is better than the chalk at 3-5.
5.
No.
Leo's Reward finished
Not
second.
the way I see it. We had the 5 on every ticket.
On the
Pat
Hill
knows.
third.
Yeah. I had the 5 as well. I'm right there with you.
IRAD, of course. I'll tell you what, the 2 has never shown ability to pass anyone. That's incredible. IRAD is on it.
On here?
You know what, guys? IRAD came over and bumped Louis.
Yeah.
They need to look. They need to look at this, guys. I mean, we're being a little bit, I'm being a little bit selfish because I need the 5, but Louis should put up the inquiry here. Pat, it looked like he came over. That looked like way to me.
To me,
he does it all the time. His name is IRAD. I come over Ortiz. I mean,
there's no inquiry right now. I don't know. Maybe they won't look at it, but it sure looked like to me, Pat, there was a bump in the stretch, and it looked like the 2 is the one that came over, and this is a millimeter finish. How they don't look
at
at
one of these earlier today, and they didn't take a look at it.
No, that one wasn't near. Right? That one wasn't nearly as close or nearly as bad as this, I thought. But
he's in the winner. They're not looking at this.
Well, they always take the picture. That people think just to take a picture, that doesn't mean anything. It's not. I guess they're not going to look.
In the winner circle is.
I guess they're not going to look at it. This sort of surprised me a little bit.
That doesn't surprise me. This is the worst circuit when it comes to not looking at things.
Actually, I think Churchill's even worse, to be honest. But, Pat, we have the 2, but we don't want the 2. I mean, I got the favor, but that's not what I want.
Yeah.
Boy, I thought Louis had no excuse on the 5. Should have gotten home, frankly.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised they're not looking at this. People put in the chat your opinion here. I thought there was a bump, and I thought it was. Maybe the 2 caused it, or maybe the 5 caused it, but I don't know.
You can't go that official. You can't go that official that quick without looking at it. It's
Pat. I don't know. Okay, I'll move on. But I just
that's bizarre.
I'm a little dumbfounded. I mean, it was a nose finish. Terry said the 2 bumped first. It sure looked that way to me. But I mean, size is not. I'd love to see the head on here, guys. It doesn't matter, but
yeah. Well, we got to wait.
Brad said it's very
minor. We're gonna be able to show replays, right?
Yeah. Yes. No, actually, we can't. It's still part of their broadcast. Brad said it was very minor bumping. Yeah, but minor bumping. But it was it was an inch one way or the other there. So
That's
it came 2, 5, 10, ladies and gentlemen. I thought the 9 and 10 had zero excuses, Pat, especially the 9, which is awful. Katie, I thought was going to make a move and just flattened out. Irad just was able to sit and come around. Very impressive. Irad's just on a complete heater right now, Pat.
Unbelievable. Yeah, no, not many excuses from the horses that I had either. I thought the 5 was going to be getting there.
I'm gonna watch the head on off screen, although it doesn't matter. What's done is done, so we can't worry about it. But I just looking at it, it sure look like there was a bump there. But okay, we'll go ahead and move on because people don't want to hear us complaining about it more, I'm sure.
Well, you need a colossal collapse there at the Naira circuit for them to do anything.
They've got 28 minutes to Saratoga, so we got plenty of time. What do we got next, Chris? Looks like 11 minutes to Woodbine. What do we got to Monmouth?
11 minutes to Woodbine, Monmouth, and Saratoga go off at the same time. So Monmouth goes off in 13 minutes. That'll be the nightcap at Monmouth, and it is on the turf for 16 claimers, fillies and mares 3s and up.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got 11 minutes to Woodbine. Woodbine's a grade 3, Chris. So let's go ahead and stick with Woodbine here. I think
you don't want to start with a 16K claimer. I mean,
not especially, no.
Right.
Not especially. We love Monmouth, but not especially. Let's focus on Woodbine race 8, the Colleen. I'm just trying to go back to. Well, I'll tell you what. When they show the head on, I'm going to take a look at it from Saratoga. By the way, the 5 Classic Q at Saratoga, guys, she opened up at 6-5. The 4 is 9-5, and my 3, who was one of my price plays here, was 7-1. The 8 is also, that's Altadora. I think the 7 is also, the 8 is also 7-1. All right, guys, let's go and talk about the Colleen. We got 10 minutes to the Ontario Colleen. It's a grade 3. I'm going to go ahead and show the PPs here up on the screen right now at Woodbine. Let me take this banner off the screen also. Okay. Not a lot of people in the chat seem to have an issue with that last race. So maybe everyone had Stewie or just didn't, thinks I'm exaggerating the issue. I don't know, but Brad, let's get a comment, Brad. My wife and I bumped harder as we were racing for coffee this morning. Wow. All right. I hear you, Brad. I don't know. I thought it was worth at least looking at, but we're not going to look at it. The Colleen, grade 3 on the turf. This is for 3-year-old fillies, I believe. Yes. We've got 2-1 on Boca Queen for, this is Rapoli. This is your guy, Patrick. Rapoli coming off a huge maiden special win, winning by 3 very impressively. Coming back a little bit quick, though, coming back in a few weeks. Lupa is a long shot. Looks like we'll show some speed. Pretty lavish. Now, this horse was cross-entered, guys, into the next race at Saratoga, actually. So they decide to go to Woodbine. Now, just your quick snapshot thought, Patrick. Perhaps this is an easier spot, or, I know you don't really know the connections, but do you think that's positive, a negative? Do you read anything into that? They're going into this Woodbine race, which is a smaller purse, but I assume a little bit of an easier spot.
Yeah, Howard, I liked Pretty Lavish when we covered that card on Black Eyed Susan Day at Pimlico. She was 5-1 that day. I didn't really have an excuse for her in that spot. And then she comes back in a field at Monmouth that had the 8 in there, a growth trajectory for Chad, who won. Broke her maiden and was ultra impressive, and she did no running in that race. And Pretty Lavish just ended up getting second again. So there's been a bit of I don't know. These last 3 races just haven't been too promising, I should say. So I would be against her in this spot. I try to find others in here. Like I said, obviously we're quick handicapping here. So I would try and find maybe a little bit better of a price on somebody else.
She's been rank and a little bit hard to control. I wonder, Patrick, if they're thinking this one turn, wide sweeping turns is better
that's a
from
good
her
point.
than the tight turns. I'm completely guessing. By the way, Junebug, thanks in the chat, said the 5 actually came out on the 2. Well, if that is true, then obviously that's why there was no inquiry. So thank you, Junebug. I'm going to trust you for that. I appreciate that. Certainly, I think if the 2 had come over, they would have looked at it, guys. But it sort of looked at them. Didn't it look like on the pan that the 2 is the one that came over, but we don't know. Anyway, something about her 17-1 coming up some synthetic efforts. Candy Quest at 7-2. This is a horse I think you know because you covered that Penn National card, I believe, Patrick. This is the other Mark Cassie taking a little bit of money. You have a long shot in Hidden Quarry at 20-1. Tis Her Money 7-1. There's 3 Cassies in this race as of now, maybe 4, who knows. Riley Mott's got a runner. Interesting for Resolute Racing, guys. It Ain't 2 coming off a nice effort in the Alley Wow against Love Cerveri. You know that horse, Pat. Pat, why don't you tell everyone why you know about Love
All right, Howard's
Cerveri?
frozen, so what do you tell us?
Yeah, right.
Sorry, why don't you go and tell us, Pat, why you know Love Cerveri, who beat It Ain't 2 last time?
Well, yeah, I'm assuming Love Swery is who we saw in the workout video on First T. Was it First T? Yeah, XVTV that we.
Well, not a video. We were there. We saw it.
Well, we were there, and then I was watching. I was watching workout videos, and all of a sudden, you just see these 3 ugly heads. Watch the horses go by as the camera pans.
2 ugly heads. 2 ugly heads.
Exactly. No, that's funny.
Yeah. Love Cerveri is a nice horse. And by the way, It Ain't 2, the 9. Let me bring it up again here. Look at who she's lost to before that. She's So Spicy. Wow. Who went to Ascot, didn't run very well, by the way. But this 9 has faced some very serious runners. And that's the field there. Chris, do you have a thought in the Ontario Colleen here at Woodbine as we have 6 minutes to post?
Yeah, one of my favorite things from a number of years ago was a $5 footlong. So I'm going with the 5 Candy Quest. 7-2.
I'm trying to understand the reference there. Okay. You lost me for a second.
I like the 5 here. I think it's dangerous in this spot. Just missed out at Penn last time on a yielding course. I know it hasn't won on a good course. It seems like the times have been pretty good there at Woodbine. I just like the 5 here, going with the other Cassie with Sibachi.
The 5 can definitely win. Second off the layout, Pat. I'll tell you one thing I don't like, just quick snapshot. I don't like seeing 72, 74, 77, 74, 77. Like, it doesn't look like she's improving, but that's where that takes me to the time form, Pat. So let's take a look at it, ladies and gentlemen. Time form numbers, 97. Let me go full screen. 97 for Boca Queen in her first start. Logically, you think she could move up to a low 100s in theory. Pretty Lavish is already in that 100 plus range for time form. Something about her looks a little bit slow. Candy Quest, very similar to the 3, at least as of now. The 8 ran a good number last time. That came a little bit out of nowhere. The 8 actually is improving. The 8 could be interesting, in my opinion, with Patrick Husbands. And then you got It Ain't 2, who ran a 106. Whoa. At Keeneland, going 5.5 and then a 103. So just looking at that, again, quick snapshot thoughts, Patrick.
Yeah, quick thoughts here. With the horses coming out of the Penn Oaks, covering that card, Howard, that was a bog that day. And I feel like Candy Quest second to Laurelin, who was very impressive. That just, it looks better than it actually is. I think that ended up being a 4 or 5 horse field. So I'm kind of against Candy Quest in here, Howard. I think the one, if you does get that, second time out progress, I could see this horse being very, very good.
Patrick,
go
why
ahead.
don't you read what Chris Couples had on the bottom of the screen? He's got the same thoughts that you do, but even stronger.
Yeah, if Boca Queen takes the logical second start improvement, this one is over before it starts.
Whoa. Got a little Poli love, Chris Couples, today. Got a little
You should take that 2-1, Chris, and run to the bank with it right now.
There you go. Let me look at the pace scenario again. I'm just gonna. So they got the 2 and the 7 on the lead in a modest pace with the 9 sitting off. They've got Lupa, who is a long shot here, and then Hidden Quarry. Guys, my snapshot thought here is if it ain't 2 can get the distance, and I don't know if she can. I'm concerned that she's only been 6 and then 6.5. If she can stretch out, guys, I think the 9 it ain't 2 is really interesting here because it just looks a lot of the other main contenders are speed types, or at least, or sorry, are closers, excuse me. So I'd be interested in ain't 2. If it's not it ain't 2, I think it could be just about anyone. I'm very curious to see how good this 1 is, because if the 1 does run off the screen here, this is a 3-year-old filly. I'd be interested to see where she goes next. What's your top pick here, Chris? You're going with the 5, you said, correct?
5.
Chris going with the 5. All right. Put in the chat, everyone, who do you like here in the Colleen? And as I switch over to that video in just a second, guys, I'm just taking a look at I wanted to look at Saratoga and look at the odds. It's 17 minutes. We also have Delmar starting in 15 minutes.
13,
so of
13
course
minutes, 13 minutes to Delmar and 17
okay.
minutes to Saratoga.
Okay. Right now, Classic Q is 6-5. That seems low to me, although she runs her race from last time at Saratoga. She was Lavender Disaster, Patrick, 2-1, and my Daisy Flyer is 6-1. Let me go ahead. We got 1 minute. Let me go ahead and bring up on the screen here. Just 1 second. Let me take this off here, and I will bring up the everything from for Woodbine. This should work.
7-2 Candy Quest and 4-1 for It Ain't 2, and there's support for Tis Her Money.
Oh yeah, Howard, is there a big harness race today? The Meadows. I see Katie put that in the chat, and I noticed on Fox they have the Delvin Miller Adios.
Come forward.
There is. It's the
debut victory.
The race for the Orchids, Patrick. It's the Adios. The Adios
coming in though for Pretty Lavish.
We'll watch this race, but the Adios, Patrick, is basically Harness's version of the Preakness. It's one of their big. It's not the main one, but it's one of the big 3-year-old races. So
a very good day at the track. Next along is Lupa.
I'm going to sit out this race, guys. I just don't have a strong enough opinion. But good luck to everyone here in the Colleen.
Mark Dodson,
especially Chris Couples on the 1.
Win on the inner turf. Pretty Lavish comes forward with Ryan Munger. Something About Her at a big price today will follow. Brendan Walsh with the winner earlier. Something About Her goes up. Handy Quest to gate 5. Is the ride for Sahin Savachi. First of the Mark Cassie runners has gone in. Hidden Quarry. Line of Ethan West moves in. They're almost right. Tis Her Money. Patrick Husband.
Very curious to see where the 9 is, guys. I think that's
9-1. The last
one
along,
of the keys to the race here.
For Eric Cancel. The Ontario Colleen Stakes stand by for a start. This field has settled. They're ready. Off their race. Best away on the outside.
Oh, wow.
At the beginning at 8-2, but
Boca
Queen missed the start.
Well, if the 1 wins this race,
but she
she's
missed it quite
well, she moved up pretty
Coming to the lead on the inside is Lupa to join it. 8-2. Boca Queen sent right through on the inside to be behind Hidden Quarry. A length away came Something About Her, who's now getting into stride, although topped the head up there. And over on the inside is Pretty Lavish. A break of 3 lengths away is still well behind them. Candy Quest, and tailed off last is
it time for me to still put a win bet on the 9, Patrick?
Lupa is up in front with It Ain't 2. Away by almost 2.5. Hidden Quarries had a nice
especially if she clears here.
Something About Her.
Oh,
a length away.
All right.
Pretty.
Sorry, guys and ladies watching. Wow. All right. Well. Oh wow. All right.
Howard,
well,
I think it's Woodbine's. Because I'm watching on my iPad over here, and it crashed on me too.
Half away came Candy Quest, and still yet to tack on.
You hear the sound now.
Come to the 5/16, a length to Hidden Quarry. Now Raphael and Andes getting to work on Something About Her. Loop of the inside. Bokavish out in.
9 on the lead, still clear.
I'm glad it's not just me then. I don't know what's going on today throughout the country here. Chris, go ahead and give a play-by-play.
9 clear on the lead. The 4 coming. The 5 making a bid.
5 up the middle. Yeah.
5 up the middle. 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 Up.
133.51.
No sound, Chris. At least I don't hear it from you.
I don't know
I don't
why.
hear the siren. Is the siren working, Chris?
We're gonna figure that out. It's still.
All right. Well. Oh boy. There we go. Chris Welch, the crush. Boy, I mean, they bet this horse down to 5-2. Wow.
I can't help that, Howard, but I was big on the all day long. Just thought he was going to run him down. And
5 and a photo.
You got to repeat that, Chris.
133.50.
I said I've been big on this girl all day long. I just thought that the setup from Penn was going to work well. The course appeared to be a little bit better than good, and that's where you can kind of run them down. Last to first, good run by Sabachi there.
Nice.
To get the candy.
Over the 9 in second. Patch, you're gonna get a good laugh at this. We are definitely very cultured here today. I'm just watching the race for the Orchids, basically the Preakness of harness racing. The horse that just won at 3-1 is the same horse, Patrick, that came up the rail and got blocked and was put up for us. That horse just won again and upset the favorite. And there was 3-1 in 148-1 at the Meadows, which is a 5/8 of the mile track. So we're covering all here bases on the HHH Racing Podcast. But the 8 at 3-1 wins at the Meadows in 148-1, exactly, Patrick, the same way that he won at the Meadowlands, except this time he didn't get blocked and he was clear. So congratulations to that horse. Candy Quest, nice job. Overall, the 4 got second. Looked like the 9 got second. It's 5-4-9 at Woodbine. That must have been a hell of a ride in the stretch, Chris. I'm sorry we couldn't see it there, but just weaved her way through, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, 7 minutes to Del Mar. We got a 3-5 favorite in the 3 Broski for Antonio Freju. I think we all know where a lot of us are going, but Howard, I'll let you talk about that.
We do?
Well,
why to that horse? Obviously, is that what we're saying?
No, I've
else?
got this thing I got an email from Noah Maher.
Oh, wait a minute, a second. We got a Noah Maher special here in the first race.
We sure do.
Oh boy. Well, we'll talk about it in a second here. We've got 4 minutes? It's not showing.
7.
I hate to even refresh because I don't know what's going to happen.
7 minutes. 7 minutes.
7 minutes. I got to refresh here for Del Mar. There we go. 7 minutes. Mile main special weight. You got Lorenzo Bernini going dirt to turf for Georgie P. 5-1. Just Resilience. Oh my Lord. 0 for 9. Oh, come on now. Patrick, when I see an 0 for 9 and then I see 3-5, my ears go bing, just like that without even looking at the other horses. So this is a horse I'm definitely going to try to beat here. 3-5, Broski. Tempest Volat for Leonard Powell coming from Keeneland and the Fairgrounds. Interesting, Pat. 9-2. We'll get to Noah's pick in a second. Prank Zappa. Wow, great name there. A little takeoff of Frank Zappa. Horse did no running against FOMO Joe last time. Puts the blinkers on for Kimura and Carla Gaines. Fascinating. 9-1. Got a first-time star for Jonathan Thomas and then Box of Light. Chris, our good friend Noah Maher, we should get him on right now, Patrick, but I don't think he's working technically right now. Our good friend Noah Maher was absolutely on fire in the Del Mar Power Picks yesterday. Chris, what info do you have?
You want me to give it away?
Yeah, give it away.
Okay. So this is a 3-star play for him out of 5. And I'll just read it here. First things first. The number 3, Broski, does not seem to want to get his picture taken, and I expect a great regression from his last race. Sonica Racing LLC purchased number 4, Tempest Volat, back in May for $180,000, and it looks like it did so with the purpose of taking advantage of the increased purses at maiden races this summer. He was closing on a very preppy debut and a career start number 2 on a yielding turf course where he was in between horses early, wide around the far turn, and was won by a wire-to-wire winner coming out of a super live race at Fairgrounds. So he's all in on this 4-horse here. The morning line odds, I believe, were 7-2. You're getting 9-2 now. You get the new guy in, Micro DeMuro. So one thing I like about Leonard Powell, and I spent 50 years in California and 25 of them going to the races there. I never really liked Leonard Powell as the favorite, but I love him at this spot. And Noah picking this horse out here and going 4 of 8 yesterday on the tip sheet in first top pick winners. I'm going to go with that and look for the 3 to finish behind the 4.
I like it. It's a Not This Time colt out of a Warfront mare. Bella Karina. The works look solid. I actually can give a little more information, guys, on the works. If you give me a second here, I'm going to pull up the Delmar workout report off screen, and I will tell people, for those of you that are interested, and hey, we're betting horses and talking horses, why would we not be interested? Not great workouts. I will say that. A bunch of C+ workouts on Tempest Velat. Not sure I love that. However, I suppose we wouldn't let that dissuade us. No one really has any great workouts, frankly, other than the 3. So
yeah,
maybe this is one of those situations where you want to Dutch 3-4 and take your chances, Pat, or what do you think here?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Broski seems to be steady B's with that B- back on June 29th. But really no confidence with a horse like you said, Howard. That's 0 for 9, and I'm going to check the exacta pools to see what we might be getting with that 3-4.
Yeah, go and do that. Let me see if the one's got turf breeding. I'm sure Noah looked into it. Whoa, wait a minute now. Hold on a second, boys and girls. This one is a half. Oh boy.
Arklow.
The one is a half to Arklow. Wow. Anyone else? And Murad. This one has got some nice turf breeding. I'm a little surprised for Rispoli and Ammo. Didn't do a lot of running first out. It was 50-1. Maybe this horse just wants to go long and on the turf. I'd be very interested in the 1 here, guys, also. I guess I'm not being too creative. The 1 is taking money at 5-1. And by the way, Chris, for all those fans of soccer, on the Jockey Silks, the 1 has a white circled soccer player. Would that be a reason to bet the horse?
Way more well-bred than the 1 for sure in terms of the turf. But we got 2 minutes to Del Mar. We got 6 minutes to Saratoga, where Classic Q is sitting on the board currently. It's 7-5, and your second choice, Lavender Disaster, at 2-1.
Yeah, let's talk about that race. We actually already talked about that race a little bit. I'm hoping one of my price plays, which I have to be honest, have not worked out great so far today, but it's still early. Is this number 3, who is taking money at Saratoga? That is Daisy Flyer. Rusty Arnold, Pat, has his stable mainly in Kentucky, and based on the purses at Ellis and Kentucky Downs, I thought this was a very aggressive move coming off the layoff, Pat, for this 3, who improved greatly last time, but has not raced in a while. I'm very curious to see how Daisy Flyer performs today with Lascano at Saratoga.
Yeah, I thought that that race at Gulfstream in the Here Comes the Bride, she looked like a completely different horse there. Was she 87-1 that day? I thought she saved ground, and she launched a pretty good rally. But obviously Classic Q in here might be a little tough from that standpoint. I just think another start off a little bit of a layoff in here, and the aggressive placing, Howard, like you said, I'm expecting another step forward in here, and I think could be a serious threat. Definitely playing underneath.
Brad is in fine. Brad, do you have a little vino with you? You're in fine form, my friend. I can't believe we're spending time on other horses here. No respect for Noah all day long. The 4 for me. All right, they're approaching the gate. We'll bring the sound up here.
Just as a side note, Brad's home alone. So
okay. You guys can. Whoops, sorry, I was going to ask you.
Just resilience.
You're good. Sound good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frank Zappa.
Anna Shepard in the chat. I will answer your question after this
Here's
race.
Broski moving in.
Thanks for joining the chat, Anna. Appreciate it.
Waiting for Jubillion.
I also have a question
Five
after this
Bucks of
race.
Light.
What kind of liquor would be in a Rusty Arnold drink?
I think if the 4 is going to win this race, guys, she needs to be more forward.
They're all in line.
I think it's she, or I think it's these are girls, right? Here we go.
They're off.
I think she's forward.
Volad had the best beginning and goes out to the early lead with Broski on the inside showing speed. Jubillion and Lorenzo Bernini in behind them, and then My Box of Light, and on the inside is Prank Zappa. The trailer, Just Resilience, and they're racing for that first turn, where it is Broski in front. Antonio Fresu and Broski take up the running here. They're on top by a length and a half. Lorenzo Bernini and Tempest Volad heads apart second and third as they race to the backstretch. Break of another 2.5 back.
Is that good or
Then
bad
comes
for the 4,
Jubillion.
Chris?
Frank
That move of
Zappa,
the
Frank
1
Zappa
made.
to the inside.
Good.
That's by another 3.5. And then My Box of Light and Just Resilience. 23.38 was that opening quarter mile as they head up the backstretch. Broski up top by a length. Lorenzo Bernini is second by a length and a half over Tempest Volad. Jubillion is fourth on the outside. Frank Zappa follows in fifth with 5 lengths to make up. It's 4.5 lengths more back to My Box of Light. Just Resilience trails through a 47.68 half mile. Into the turn they go. Broski on top all the way so far. Gets a bit more daylight here. Opens up 2.5. Lorenzo Bernini on the outside. Tempest Volad now takes second toward the rail.
She's got to really
Then
run
comes
to
Frank
catch this
Zappa
3.
in fourth, and they're into the stretch. And it is still Broski in hand here at the 8th pole. 2.5 lengths in front.
Stop.
Tempest Volad is clearly second, and then comes Frank Zappa taking third. Broski every step of the way, taking the opener by 2.5 lengths. Tempest Volad was second.
Ooh.
And Lorenzo Bernini.
Well, Pat, I mean, if you listen to my suggestion, or just, I mean, the 3 looked loose on paper. The 3, what does the 3-4 pay, Pat? For $1? Can you look that up?
5 to 1.
5 to 1?
Yeah.
Chris Walsh, if Matt was sitting right here, he'd say, "What's wrong with the 5 to 1 shot?"
He would, but he probably would have been all in on the 3 with the double.
That's actually not a bad point. Let's go to Saratoga, guys, and I need to put a wager in as I'm talking here. I don't know if Daisy Flyer is good enough here, Pat. I'm going to put a little win bet on Daisy Flyer at 7 to 1 is way too tempting. But what I'm going to do mainly here as I'm talking, sorry for not looking at the screen, everyone, because I'm multitasking in a degen way. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a win bet on the number 3, Daisy Flyer, and then I'm just going to do, since the 4, 5, I'm assuming the exactas are pretty much the same. Can you tell me what the 4-3 and 5-3 exactas are, Pat, while I make the bets here?
Yes. Yeah, I'm just putting some bets in too, so you're going to have to give me one.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, that's okay. I can look it up. I don't want to interrupt your flow. I can see it. Oh, they're like 12 to 1-ish, somewhere around there, looks like. So I'm going to do 4-5 with 3. So I'm going to do a exactas 4-5 with 3, and then I'll put a win bet on the 3. I need the 3 to at least finish first or second, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a trifecta and key only the 3 and third. How do you like that idea, Pat? And in fact, I'm going to go 4-5 with 1-8 with 3, and the reason I'm doing that, ladies and gentlemen, is because if it comes 4-5 and then 4-5, you know, and then 3, I'm not getting paid anything. So I'm going to hope that I can get what I have a good friend back in the day would call a chalk splitter. So I'm going to go 4-5 with 1-8 with 3 in my trifectas. Again, there's no, I don't want a 4-5-3 or a 5-4-3. I'm not getting anything out of that. So if the 3 wins, great. If the 3 comes in second, that's probably best for me. And then I would have a try if the 4 or 5 wins but doesn't come in second. Chris, I think ticket instruction is really important. It took me a long time to learn it. I did not have mentors like, you know, like these younger guys, Patrick in our group has, but I've learned a lot about ticket instruction. Now I may be wrong about the 3, but I think I've constructed it correctly. And feel free to crap on me, Chris. What do you think of my construction? Win bet on a 7 to 1, Big Exactas in second, and then Key in third, but not the two favorites, 1-2.
No, I like it, and I'm thin with Saratoga today, so I'm just sticking with my $5 pick 5 here. I'm single with the 5. I'm a $120 ticket. There's not a lot of stuff I need to hedge there. I've had a couple of decent hits today on just individual win bets and keeping it simple. I think you mentioned earlier that Patrick's been in this for 5 years. I've got belts like 3 times older than that, so it's good to get the young guys into these things and whatnot, which is great. But it doesn't matter if you've been doing this for 5 years or 50 years. It's the game has evolved to when I first got in, to when Patrick first got in 5 years ago. But it all comes down to picking winners. And back in the day when I first started there, the longest thing you had was a double, right? There were no big threes then.
Right.
There were no. I mean, exactas were $5. And
they're going to the gate, Chris. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Loading in the gate.
Here's
$5 base.
Presented by Surfside.
By the way, Brad wants a horn for me for that 5-1 exacta. I don't know if the horn's working
Classic
right now.
Q
So
coming
anyway,
He
all right,
wants
let's
a
see.
horn? All right.
Favoritism with Lavender.
Chris, what Brad Anderson wants, Brad Anderson gets. I mean, it's Brad Anderson. All right, Pat, we need this 3 to be up close, Pat. Not like on the lead, but this 3's got to be tactical.
Good, long.
All right, I'll be quiet. Here we go. Frank Marmati, the Lake George.
They're in the
grade
gate.
3.
And they're off in the Lake George, presented by Surfside. And it's a very even beginning. Lavender Disaster has some good early foot. Classic Q, though, is a little bit faster. Classic Q goes to the front. Lavender Disaster will settle off her while taken in hand 2 lengths behind. Then Good Long Cry and Poop racing side by side. They're going quickly into the first turn. Daisy Flyers settles behind this quartet with 5 lengths to make up. The 2 trailers, Raining Flowers and a Terradora, at the back of the field. 23 flat for the favorite Classic Q, who takes him onto the backstretch with a 3-length lead. Good Long Cry in second. Lavender Disaster rides the hedge in third, and then it's Pookie in fourth with 4 to make up, a gap of 6. Back to Daisy Flyer, Raining Flowers, and a Terradora.
Looks pretty quick, guys.
It's Jose Ortiz and Classic Q, 46.
Not too fast.
46 and 2.
Running filly,
That's
who takes him into
moving.
the far turn, 3 lengths clear of Good Long Cry.
I like where the
second.
3 is. If
Lavender
she's got
Disaster,
anything, Pat, she's got to
still
start
right there
moving,
in the
though.
thick of it. Along the inside third. Pookie has been fourth most of the way, still 4 lengths off the lead. A half dozen clear of Daisy Flyer, Raining Flowers, and at the back still.
Come on, Lascano, line this filly up. What do you got here?
Flat.
Getting a trip.
Classic Q.
Come on, Jose.
Top of the stretch, and
do
Lavender
you got?
Disaster angles out to try to get her.
Get that hole. Come on, Jose.
At the furlong pole, Classic Q 2-length lead. Lavender Disaster trying
for
her
second.
best on the inside. Raining Flowers is
Go for second, Jose.
Classic Q.
Go for second,
Still in
Jose.
front, coming toward the wire. A host of
for
pursuers, including
second.
Daisy Flyer, who's coming now.
Get out.
Daisy Flyer
Yes.
nailed her.
That's what I'm talking about, Pat.
And Raining Flowers is in a photo for second with Classic Q. Daisy
Boom.
Flyer.
Wow. I'm yelling, get it up for second, and she actually won the dang thing. Wow. What a
Well done,
close.
Alex.
Are
Well
you
done.
kidding me? Wow. Well, now we can show it, right, guys? Where is it? Oh, with the crush. Let's go. 7-1. Wow.
Well done.
Who got second? Do we know?
I don't know.
The inside horse. Not the 5.
Did the 1 go to the inside, Chris, or was it the 5
Yeah.
on the inside?
Whoever was on the inside, I think it was the 1.
I think it was the 1. I do not know. Who got
3-5-1.
3-5-1. All right. Pat, for our pick 5, that is gigantic, my friend. To beat
All
those
right.
2
Howard,
favorites.
you at least got me out of my
Daisy Flyer was
bet because I took your 3-5 to get clean.
Wow. Let's see. Thank you, Wiz. Appreciate it, man. Had 30 to win on that one, boys. I wish I did more, but I'm not going to complain. There we go. It's the Jose double with, what is that, Jose Ortiz, right? I'll tell you what.
Jose exactly.
Yeah.
and the Jose Exacta. I'll tell you what, Pat. Here am I don't know about you, but I didn't think she was winning.
No.
I was hoping she got second. That wire just seemed forever.
Yeah.
Classic Q guys took a weird. Did you see the first turn? She's a little wide and like rank and just looked a little weird. I think I have Daisy Flyer on the power picks. And I got to double check. Do I, Pat? Let me double check. God, I hope I do. I thought I did. Let me just double check for everyone. And if I don't, I'm going to feel like an a-hole. But I think no, actually I didn't. Dang it. Why did I not have Daisy Flower on there? Okay. I feel bad. Sorry, power pick tip sheet people. I did like this horse. I guess I liked some others more. But hey, Pat, if the 5 had won the first leg, oh boy, would we have some tickets?
Oh,
I mean, hey, Chris, Patrick and I are playing a pick 5, and basically I pressed up 3-5 on all of our tickets in the second leg. So we're live on the main. That helps a lot. Again, Chris, I think intent. This is not redboarding. I talked about this horse. Intent matters to me. There was no reason for Rusty Arnold to ship to New York if he wasn't confident. Now he got the trip, or she got the trip. She got the setup. I get that. She ran huge. That was 1:40.1 final time.
Yeah, that's racehorse time, man. I mean, that was a good race. Lascano gave that horse a great ride and just got there in the final strides to beat the favorite there, Classic Q. Reading Flowers, this will be a somewhat decent try here. Lavender Disaster out of the top 3 will make that a bit spicy. So, back to my question, what 3 liquors make up a Rusty Arnold? I'm thinking like bourbon from Kentucky.
Well, I'm going to get that now at the liquor store.
I'm thinking bourbon, maybe some Jack Daniels and a little gin with some orange bitters in there. I don't know. We got to come up with drinks. That's something we should do. We should do a drink show where we make cocktails.
Guys, Lavender Disaster does not want this distance. Chris Couples mentioned it. But, I thought look, I have a ton of respect, Patrick, for Andy Sterling. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea. I think he's outstanding as a handicapper. And I was surprised today that he picked the 4. That perked my interest. But it's clear this 4 does not want distance. Raining Flowers, by the way, also ran huge. I guess you could say Classic Q ran big, Pat, considering the 1 and 3 were coming pretty far back. So I think on the time form, the 5s can get as big a numbers as 1 and 3. I just want to mention that for people that are giving me against Classic Q. They went 23-40. The second quarter was 23-3. The third quarter was again like 23-2. They were moving. So I actually think Classic Q ran a big race there, Pat. But what a ride by Lascano. Wow.
What a ride. And I think Daisy Flower she probably wants to go a little bit longer.
I would agree with that too.
Yeah, I mean, I could see her, maybe doing a 3-turn race. I'm not sure if there will be anything for her later on in this meet going 3 turns, but I could see her
interesting.
Stretching out even further.
Yeah. You know what, Pat? It's crazy because our good friend Ryan Anderson just sent a text, and I wish we had the money to play a 3-1 double here because the double to Baez is going to be big.
$31, Howard. I've got it.
What's that? The double?
Yeah.
Nice.
I did a reverse exacta with your 3 into Classic Q, so that paid well. And I was like, I knew we both liked Baeza in the next, and we have that double from earlier today with the King George.
Yes. How about that?
Yeah.
So Pat, there was a double from the King George big race earlier into the into the Jim Dandy. It was actually offered on all the ADWs, Chris. Apparently, I thought it was only, and so I've got that going too with Kalandagan winning for Davy Lane and myself in
8-1, right? 8-1, Howard, right?
Say again.
8-1 with what we got,
8-1. Yeah. What's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. All right. Great. What do we got next, boys? As we recover here, is it Woodbine, Delmar? What do we got, Chris?
We've got Woodbine in 6 minutes, Delmar in 16 minutes, and Saratoga in 26 minutes. So pretty much 10 minutes apart for each one.
All right. So we got Woodbine in about 6 minutes here. Let me go ahead and trying to actually find a different track here. Why don't you talk about the next Woodbine race as I go ahead and make some adjustments here?
Woodbine Race 9, optional claimer 40K. Fillies and Mares 3 years old and up. Purse is 64K. They're going 6.5 on that synthetic surface, easy for me to say, up there in Toronto. So the 6 is your 2-1 morning line favorite.
Okay. Let me go ahead and get up Woodbine on the screen here. Did you look at the race, Chris? I'm assuming Patrick and I are gonna be doing a little speed handicapping. But what's your thoughts here, Chris, at the Woodbine next race?
I have not looked at it, but I need to go do something for 2.5 minutes. So I'm going to just pop out here, and once you see me back, drop me back in.
Well, actually, it's 5:15. This is a perfect time to take a little break. Patrick, you look like you're having fun, my friend. You want to stay on? Zero pressure, man. If you got to go, you got to go. We're going to take a break. Do you want to join us when you come back, or would you rather you got other things to do?
I do have to depart, but my time on here was a great time, and I'm glad we finished with a bang. And good luck in the Jim Dandy to everybody. I'm excited. We all have something in this race, going into this race, of pretty significant value.
Yeah, I would say so. The Jim Dandy is next. We'll let Patrick go. Great job again, Patrick. Appreciate it. We'll be cheering on Baeza in the Jim Dandy. We're going to take a quick break, everyone. Let everyone stretch their legs. We'll be back in a few minutes to talk about Woodbine's next race, Delmar, and the Jim Dandy with Soundy. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here, HHH Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Howard Kravitz. You're watching Weekend Warriors live with a thrilling win for yours truly at Saratoga in the Lake George. We've got Woodbine Race 9, Robert Geller with the call.
2. And following is Bedazzle Me, who went close last start, is at 6-1. The betting has certainly favored 454 at Executive Success in the last part of the betting market changes. Go Giffen has gone forward. To gate number 5 is 454. And it is the turn of Executive Success. They're equal favorites right now. And Whiskey and Ice a point out at 3-1 as they come up.
Howard, I got an entertainment bet here on the 10.
5-1, beautifully turned
What's
out.
that, Chris?
The last
An
along.
entertainment bet on the 10.
Three Winkle
On the
racing
10.
today for
Okay,
Dominic
good luck,
Colts,
Chris.
Nelly
Chris
Barn
likes the 10 here.
off that
Good
last
luck.
start win. Stand by for a start.
Entertainment bets are usually
Three
in the
Winkle picks up.
$10 to $20 range.
Goes forward
Okay.
for Jose
No.
Campos.
I'll be
10
watching.
10.
And at the jump, it looks like Executive Success is shortening into favorite. Still out is horse
Although I
number
don't like the trainer change.
side on for Jose Campos. Comes to the line a little reluctantly. Still waiting for the outside gate. Now they're ready. All in and locked up. Off they race. That was a perfect start. Away very nicely was Miss Pierre, and showing up near the inside, coming through Whiskey and Ice. Executive Success, the center just in front.
No, Ben's not
Splitting
gonna
horses, Prima. 3 across the track. Prima going through in the center. On the inside, Whiskey and Ice matching to go to the front. They're picking up the tempo as well. On their outside, Executive Success. They've come away by 3.5. 454's over on the inside, pushing up. And over on the outer, Miss Pierre, they got away by 3 lengths to Periwinkle. About 3.5, Bedazzle Me and Last Go Giffen. They're wasting no time. They're going pretty fast in this one. 22-2 the first quarter.
Easy
And
one.
Whiskey and Ice in front.
You're getting a
Prima
good trip
second,
here,
Executive
Chris.
Success on the outside. And just behind them now,
Gonna save
454
ground,
closing
pace
with
run
every
into.
stride. 2 lengths away is Periwinkle finishing on. Miss Pierre the outside, a long gap, Bedazzle Me and Last Go Giffen as they come inside the 5/16. Whiskey and Ice in front. 454's closing really well on the
She's
inside, coming to
asking a lot,
challenge.
or he's
And as they
asking
turn
a lot.
home, comes to the outside.
Stay on the rail,
and as they
right?
come
Stay
down
on
the
the
lane,
rail
Go
there.
Giffen from last, making good ground, but it's Whiskey and Ice kicking on. Whiskey and Ice in front, a length and a half, 2 in second, 454. Go Giffen
quite
is
have
charging, has come from last. Go Giffen. Go
Fall
Giffen
apart?
coming right down the outside of the track after all of them. Go Giffen coming after 454, who got the break and has found that second lease of life. And 454 goes on to win 3/4. Go Giffen. Whiskey and Ice.
Ran well.
The fourth, and Bedazzle Me, Miss Pierre, Prima, and last, Executive Success, 1:16.82 the time.
All right, not bad. Not a bad effort there. Chris,
All right.
we've got about, I think, 10 minutes to 9 minutes of Del Mar, and then, of course, the feature at Saratoga. Let's look at Del Mar pretty quickly here, my friend, as I'm going to go ahead and bring up the PPs for race 2 at Del Mar.
You don't want to go to Hastings? Kidding.
No, I wouldn't actually. You know what? I would like to go to Hastings at some point, just to visit. British Columbia is supposed to be gorgeous. Never been to British Columbia. Let's go to race 2 though. We got 25 claimers, non-winners of 2 here. Chris at Del Mar, 7 minutes to post. Did you look at this race? If not, we can speed handicap.
I have not looked at this race, but the first thing
Okay.
I'm going to look at is the Noah Maher power picks.
Ooh, all right.
So,
Well, before we do that, there's the pace scenario there, Chris. According to Time Form, they've got a hot pace here with the 9, 2, and the 11 all up close. The 5 is the best closer in the race. When you see that lace pace, that doesn't mean the 5 is the most likely winner. That just means the 5 has the best closing speed figure. So based on that and Noah's picks, let's go through the race here. And then we can, who does Noah like, first of all? Let's do that.
All right, let me look at the pace scenario here because I've got some metrics on this. I do think that there is a pretty good risk up here of a pace meltdown. So if I look at that and I go back at looking what Noah is looking at, he's got just in his caveman picks here for the early pick 5, which he went 3-4 in the first leg. He's singling the 7 here. And his B pick is the 12.
Self-sufficient, even money, gelding, dropping for Kimura and McCarthy. Tons of class here. Very interesting. Chris, let me ask you a question. This comes up at Saratoga and Del Mar all the time. These big drops at these big meets, less of a concern, more of a concern, neutral concern?
I think it's neutral because you have to look at each individual race individually. Glatt is doing well here. He's got Braceu riding. He's second off here, off the turf, back on the dirt. This horse won, last year in September at Del Mar at 6.5. Coming from, sitting in fourth, two off them. So it feels like it could be these two when you look at it. And when you look at the seven also, has shown speed in the past. It's come off the turf. This horse is coming back from, it's been at Gulfstream. It was at Santa Anita. It's off since January, February, March, April, and May back then for McCarthy. McCarthy's good at this move. It's had some good, decent work. So the 7 and the 12 could be right there in it. I think one that could be looked at for a long shot could possibly be the 11. Steve Miotti, he targets Del Mar meets all the time. And I think that race at Los Alamitos at the end of June was a prep for this.
Adding more speed to the party. Outside speed has done well at Del Mar so far. I agree with you. The 12 is the most likely other winner. There is a lot of speed in here. Let me just throw a horse that's at everyone, dude, that sort of just perks my attention. And again, I'm looking at this race for the first time. If the number 5 City of Angels for Sluggo Racing and Mike Pipey is ready off this pretty long layoff, I think he's interesting at least to get in the money. The 5 is 9-1. I see a lot of 7 furlong 1 mile races. So the 5 is used to going longer. I understand it's a long layoff, even though he, he's only 1 for 9 and he was against Calbreds. These figures actually look very competitive to me. I don't know what the work tab looks like, although I can look that up as well. In fact, while I'm doing that, let me, any thoughts on City of Angels that you see on the screen there without knowing the workout, which I'm going to look at right now, Chris?
City of Angels, let me look that one up here. That is what? The number 5 horse. Let me look at my notes over here. I don't see City of Angels here for Pipey and Ayuso getting anything done. I just don't see.
The workouts are not great. I will say that. Self-sufficient with a B+ workout. Wow. Up with phosphorescence last time. I'm looking, the 12's decent. I'm just looking at the workout report. That's why I'm not looking at the camera right now. The 4 actually has a very nice workout 2 back, which is interesting to me. The 4 was a dirt horse, switched to turf. Coming back very quickly. Actually, that workout was before that last race. So I don't know. I think we can analyze as the cows come home. It just feels to me here, Chris, like it's probably 7 or 12 because I'm trying to, how much time do we have, Del Mar?
2 minutes.
All right. Let me get the Del Mar sound up going here in just a minute.
2 minutes and 12 minutes to Saratoga.
Yep. I was just going to say, okay, I'm getting up Del Mar here on the side screen here. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, the Jim Dandy, the odds, in case you are now looking, obviously Sovereignty is the favorite, 1-2. Chris, I got to tell you, if Baeza stays at 7-2, an unreasonable, unhealthy win bet is coming in on Baeza. I was hoping they had 5-2. 3-1 I thought was going to be optimistic, but Sandman is 9-2, and just everyone loves betting Sandman. I suppose those odds are fine, but when I see 7-2 on Baeza, that definitely perks my interest. We will talk about the Jim Dandy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure a lot of you watching are very interested. Again, this is Howard Kravitz on the Chris Walsh HHH Racing Podcast. We're live here on Saturday. Weekend Warriors. Spread the news, spread the word to everyone. We're showing live racing audio and video. I want to answer one quick question before the Del Mar race. Someone asked, Chris, are we going to show the Jim Dandy? We cannot show the video of the Jim Dandy due to concerns with Saratoga. But we've got someone in the background Chris. I'm not sure we're going to be able to show the Del Mar race. Let's bring him on. He is live in the paddock at Saratoga. Mr. Paul Halloran. Paul, how you doing today?
Howard, I'm trying to find a quiet spot in the paddock, but apparently that's difficult at Saratoga. There's a lot of people in the paddock for the James Dandy.
We understand. So, Paul, I'm going to talk through the Del Mar race a little bit because it's coinciding with you popping on screen. But you're definitely more important. As they go to the gate there at Del Mar, give us the scene. Is there a lot of Sandman fans, I'm guessing?
Yes. There's only 5 horses. The paddock's pretty crowded. I think it's an interesting race. I just walked from the jockey's room to the paddock with, my favorite jockey. I don't know if I could say our favorite jockey, but friend of the HHH pod.
Yes.
And, it's going to be interesting. I think everyone pretty much thinks that this horse might not be cranked 100%. We talked about it on the show, right?
We did.
Thursday night. The question is going to be, can he win this at 90 or 85%? And the answer is definitely maybe, right? Baeza's workouts, I know you got the workout report. He seems to be cranked to 100%. They are definitely, the primary goal for Baeza right now is to win the Jim Dandy. I would respectfully say I think the primary goal for Sovereignty is to win the Travers. Doesn't mean he's not going to win this race.
I would agree with you. They're off at Del Mar. Again, I don't have the names. The 11 took the lead. Otherwise, they'd give you a much better. Let me see if we get the names up here. On the lead, we have Jaguar John has a lead. Sitting in second is Captain Sparrow. On the inside is Aber at 70-1. In between horses, a little bit uncomfortably, is Self-Sufficient. Outside of him is You Army Style. And there are horses outside of that, including Wild Recruit getting a very wide trip. Jaguar John being pressed all the way by Captain Sparrow. The big favorite, Self-Sufficient, not doing enough running in third. It looks like the number 12, Captain Sparrow, has just taken the lead with Antonio Fresu. Jaguar John, the 11, trying to fight back. A belated bid by Self-Sufficient down the middle of the track, and behind him, Special Club. But you'd have to sprout wings to catch Captain Sparrow. Captain Sparrow wins. Self-Sufficient second. Race 2 at Del Mar.
That's Noah Maher exacta there with his A and B if you box them.
I don't think anyone going to confuse me with. Sorry, we're going to get Paul back on there. Sorry. All right, well, maybe we'll get Paul. There we go. Let me bring Paul. I don't think anyone's going to confuse me for Larry Colness or Trevor Denman, but I did okay there.
That was pretty damn good. I got to tell you, I liked it.
Thanks. By the way, straight exacta score for guess who? Noah Maher in the Del Mar Power Picks, Paul.
No, it's a Howard. He was 7-12 there. That's the box.
Okay.
So,
all right, we'll go the other way with it.
Last night was epic.
Yeah.
I was watching the Red Sox lose to the Dodgers and cashing Del Mar tickets at the same time. It was great.
Yeah.
So, Paul, we've got 7 minutes to post, and you're there. We want to have you all the time necessary. Are you convinced that Sovereignty is only 80-85%? You said that's sort of laissez-faire. Do you know something? Is it a guess? Because you said that very definitively.
No, it's not any definite knowledge. I suspect he's, probably in the 90 range. But that's just my theory. So take that at your own risk.
Paul, the most realistic way Baeza upsets Sovereignty in terms of race flow and positioning in this race?
He's got to go. Now, the one thing, and the last thing I said to Junior as we walked into the paddock, the one thing, and we said it on the show the other night, I think there's a reasonable chance that this is going to be a little bit of a contentious battle on the front end. I don't think Mo Plex is going to be all by himself, which is the popular thinking. I could be wrong, but, I said to Junior, I said, you might have 3 horses in front of you in a wall. And he said, oh, that'd be great. and I agree. So race flow, despite the short field, you would think it could play to his disadvantage. I think it has a chance to play to his advantage. Well, we're going to find out in 5 minutes. But, again, the horse is really good, and he just might be bit. Hey, Wendy, how are you? Wendy Godfrey, an old friend from Boston.
Paul, let's say Baeza breaks more cleanly. Do you think, let's say Barrios is relatively aggressive on the inside, which I hope he is. Do you think Moplex, I'm sorry, who's the rider Moplex today? My bad. Franco.
Moplex is
do you think if Manny looks to his left and sees Baeza trying to push through, do you think Manny would let Baeza go and sit off comfortably without possibly worrying about the class of this race? Or do you think Manny would say, F it, I have to have the lead. That's my only chance to win. Put yourself in Manny Franco's shoes. What would you do if Baez is aggressive along the inside?
I think before the last race, Howard, even though it was, quote, only the Ohio Derby, I would have said he's going to go come hell or high water. But because of the way he won that race, I think he would probably decide to not get into a speed battle with him.
That's what I'm hoping. I want either. Well, I definitely don't want them head to head. I mean, I want Baeza. By the way, Chris, I'm going 1-5-2 just for the record here in this race. Right, there's 5 minutes to post. We've got Paul Howard live in the paddock at Saratoga. Paul, remind everyone your official picks from Thursday's show, unless you're deviating from that at this point.
No, I picked 5-1. Oh boy, not Moplex.
No, you had Sandman, I believe, also.
Sandman third. Yep, I did have Sandman. He's the 2, right?
Yes.
5-1.
Yeah, 3-1 now, Howard, on Baeza.
Are you saying that's too low? Sorry, Chris. Too low, Paul?
I'm saying I think I'm surprised. I don't have the PPs in front of me, but I think that's decent amount of action for him, isn't it, to win this race?
Yes, and I don't understand it. I mean, it's a small field. How is he going to outclose journalism?
Because I mean, God, we all love Griffin Johnson, and seriously love him because he's such a wonderful ambassador for the game. But you have those millions of eyes on the race. But I didn't expect Salmon to be quite that low. 1-2 on Sovereignty, 3-1, as Chris just pointed out. I figured Baeza right around there. And, Bob and I were talking about this on the ride up, Howard, and I know you like the horse, so I don't know what you're looking for, but, it's one thing to beat a horse like Sovereignty. I think you kind of have to get paid. And if this horse were to go to 5-2, I'm not sure that's really good value. I mean, obviously you take the $7 if you hit the race, but I think to beat Sovereignty, you got to get more than 5-2, even in a short field.
I put on the power picks. I would go no lower than 3-1. Chris, you've been very patient. What are your thoughts on the Jim Dandy, your top 3, sir?
I don't have a top 3. When you got 5-horse fields, I don't have a top 3. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I'm with you, Howard. I'm on Baeza. I'm hoping, Hector here shipping out to Saratoga, which never happens. He can keep this horse up close. He can be no more than 3 or 4 lengths off the lead and turning for home and to get the jump on Sovereignty and hope to just take that all the way through the stretch drive, right? Because you're going to try and close from last. That's just not a good winning recipe. He's got to be up close. 3-1 is good. 5-2, not as great. I love him at 7-2, but it's just going to be one of those things where you're going to have to wait to what you see when you get to post time, which we are 2 minutes away from. But I'm with a lot of folks and thinking that Sovereignty isn't fully cranked, and they don't need to win this race. Their target is the Travers. If they win it, it's a bonus.
Oh boy. All right, we're having minor tech issues here. Let me get the sound on right now. I'm put the sound on right away, guys. We should hear sound when. Here's my thought, guys. I'll leave it at this. I made my biggest win bet of the weekend on Baeza here. I'm not going to change if it goes on to 5-2. I'm just going to roll with it. I want Baeza. Baeza has to break better, period. I either want him on the lead without being bothered by Moplex, or break like he's been breaking, and then rush up a little bit and get positioned right outside of
time in a minute.
Moplex. I do not, Paul, want Baeza like taking dirt in behind in the pocket. I just don't like that situation for him. So, Paul, are you going to stay on, or do you want to watch? You want to come back after the race here?
Yeah, I think I'll come back.
Oh.
I'm walking over to the track right now.
All right, Paul,
and,
come back after the race. Thank you, my friend. I'm going to take you off screen. Thanks, Paul.
Okay.
All right.
Fortunately, Howard, I didn't have to make a win bet on Baeza because I've got him in the double, which is paying $32. And
yeah, absolutely. I'll know within the first at the first turn. If Baeza has a chance here.
No,
it's pretty much
100% agree. If he's not up close, he misses the break. It's lights out guerrilla radio. And for those of you that are Rage Against the Machine fans, you know what that means.
It's not that he like stumbles. He just doesn't. He's just not quick in the first jump or two. It's not like he stumbles or is slow. He just doesn't break immediately. But once he gets into his cruising speed, Chris, this is a serious animal. I believe in this horse. I wish he was breaking from the outside. This is the time to beat Sovereignty, in my opinion, Chris, is right now, right here in the Jim Dandy. I don't think he's doing it in the Travers. They are circling behind the gate. Sovereignty is 2-5. Baeza 3-1. Sandman has now drifted up to 6-1, Chris. Moplex at 8. And Hill Road, who's actually a decent horse, is almost 20-1 in this 5-horse field, which is pretty crazy. Brad Anderson said the 3-5 double is paying 22-1. Howard has a setup to get paid. Thanks, Brad. I think he's talking about the double from the last race. So, wow, 22-1 on the into the double. So that'd be great. I am alive to the Baeza and win bet in the pick 3s. In the double from this morning with Kalandagan. I do have Sovereignty in my pick 5. I'm not a complete idiot. If it's not 1 or 5, I'll be throwing my hands in the air and be very, very upset. If Baeza wins, get that horn ready to blow. They're approaching the gate.
Baeza jock change, tactics, speed, duel. Keep believing Sovereignty is a world killer. Yeah, I'm there, man. I'm getting that vibe here.
Oh.
We'll move very shortly and go from there. I know Brad is also got a double from that King George Queen Elizabeth race in Sovereignty we talked earlier today.
Presented by
Anthony, this is not a diss on Sovereignty. I just think he's not cranked for today. I love Sovereignty, Anthony. Love the horse.
Yeah.
I just think today might not be his day. But if he wins, that would surprise absolutely nobody.
Yep.
Here we go. Good luck to everyone out there in HHH Racing podcast land. We will not be talking very much through this race.
For the Jim Dandy presented by Mohegan Sun.
Good luck to everyone.
Baeza reunited with Hector Barrios. Goes into
reunited, and it feels so good.
Come on, Baeza.
Here's the Arkansas Derby winner, Sandman. New York bred Moplex. Peter Pan winner, Hill Road. And here's Sovereignty and Junior Alvarado. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Jim Dandy presented by Mohegan Sun. And Mopex breaks alertly. Baeza is up close and Sovereignty very sharp out of the gate right off of Moplex. So they move into the first turn and the New York bred Moplex with the advantage. Has it by a length and a half over Sovereignty. Baeza tucks in third. They're followed by Sandman, who's certainly closer than usual, just 4 lengths off the lead. And Hill Road is at the back of the field. 24-2, a very reasonable opening quarter for Moplex and Manny Franco as they swing on to the backstretch. It's a 2-length lead on Sovereignty in second, and Baeza is matching strides, in fact, taking second from Sovereignty as they head down the backstretch.
Barrios had to do this, Chris.
And Jose
I love this
move.
Howard, I didn't want to talk over the race, but I 100% agree.
He had to do this. He had no choice.
It went a half in 48-2. Moplex keen while showing the way. 2-length advantage into the far turn. On the inside, Hill Road has made an early bid. Baeza is still in second as they come to the 3/8. Sovereignty dropped back a bit, but is revving up once again with a 3-wide bid as they go through 6 furlongs in 1:12-2. Moplex, the leader, coming to the quarter pole. Baeza and Sovereignty are head and head. Hill Road made that bid but drops back, and then Sandman there at the top of the stretch. Sovereignty is up to take the lead. He and Baeza in close quarters, but Sovereignty has the upper hand in mid-stretch. Baeza is
Fight him! Fight this horse!
Sovereignty.
Fight him!
Junior Alvarado
not even going left-handed.
Still on top.
God dang it.
Still with plenty left in the tank. Sovereignty scores in the Jim Dandy. Baeza ran lights out, but he ran into Sovereignty. It was a
look at this
long
gallop
way back
out,
to a
Chris.
three-way
Now,
photo
people are going
for
to say it doesn't
third.
matter. It doesn't
The
matter to
Kentucky
me.
Derby and Belmont winner is now a Jim Dandy winner with his eyes on the Midsummer Derby.
You know, Chris, I think Barrios did a lot of things right there. Like I said, I just wish I'm going to say this. People are going to disagree with me. That's absolutely fine. If Baeza had drawn to the outside, didn't have to make that middle move on the backstretch, and got a little bit more of a jump on Sovereignty, I think he would have a big shot to win. He lost by a length. Barrios tried. I think Baez is a really good horse. I guess I was wrong. I like Baez today. I thought he ran huge. I didn't like the start. I think you have to give Junior a lot of credit, Chris. He did not let Baeza get to the outside earlier. But I think Baeza ran. There was a little. I mean, Sovereignty came over slightly. There's no inquiry there. I'm sorry for yelling to the screen. I don't know when. I wish. There's a point where I thought Baeza was going to come back, but he didn't really whip him much. But I guess it wouldn't have mattered. Sovereignty 149 and 2. Baeza clearly second there. Everyone else complete also rans. Chris Walsh, your thoughts?
Yeah, it just didn't go our way there for sure. But Barrios, I think, did the best he could with the hand he was dealt. People will follow this ride. Go left-handed, go this way, go that way. But what do you want him to do, man? You got the one post there. You got to get the jump. He was up close early, which is where I wanted him to be. I didn't want him to be that far back. Sovereignty is just better at this point. Now, is he, the Breeders' Cup Classic winner? I don't know. Will he shit the bed in the Travers? That's happened before, right? Because Saratoga, the Graveyard of Champions. So we'll see what the field looks like and kind of go from there. But, certainly best today. And I don't know if he had his best, but he certainly ran well. Bill Mott had him well prepared, and they got the job done. But
sorry, Chris. Well, people have to understand the one in the pick 5 pays 4 times as much as the 5, and I'm alive in the pick 5, and I was alive at I'll just be honest, I had a $300 win bet. Like for me, that's a lot of money. People might not, whatever. I was live to $1,000 to Baeza there if he won a Prout. Also had a live to $300, and so I was live to about $1,300 without the pick 5. And if I hit the pick 5, you could probably add another $1,000. I mean, that was literally a few grand for me, possibly. So I apologize again to everyone. But Chris, did it look like there's a point mid-stretch where he was coming back on Sovereignty a little bit and fighting?
He did. And, what if Sovereignty had the 1 hole and Baeza had the 5, right? Like, how much would have that changed things?
Look,
if it's and buts for candy and nuts, we know how that works out.
The scary thing is we all have to agree that Sovereignty was probably not 100% there. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
That's the scary part. And you know what? I have no problem with – I think Barrios actually rode a pretty good race. I didn't want to interrupt, but he had to – I didn't want him in the pocket. He had to make that middle move. I got zero issue with that. The fact that Moplex fought him a little bit probably didn't help. You notice he did sort of carry Sovereignty out a little bit farther on the turn, complete race riding. He was also going left-handed, Chris. Did you see that on the turn to try to force Sovereignty a little bit wider? Again, good race riding. I have no problem with what Barrios did. I would have liked to see him whip more in the stretch, but
Howard, let's do it. Let's do a backtrack. Let's go back to the day of the Derby. 3 days later. Hey, we're not going to the Preakness, right? This horse could have easily been a Triple Crown winner. I mean, W2F of what you're thinking. I mean, why would you not take that chance? This is the thing. We can go have that conversation. We could do a different show over all that. But what the absolute hell, man? Why would you not go take that chance? It blows the mind. It blows the mind that Godolphin would say, you know what? Hey, we won the Derby. We think we have the best horse, but we want to win the Jim Dandy and the Travers and the Breeders' Cup Classic. What are you doing? Go for the Triple Crown. That is the ultimate goal.
Well, I mean, you know what? I don't even want to go. You can bring it up. I don't even care at this point. That's horse racing. That's the way it is these days, Chris. I would rather focus on the here and now. Look, June Bug, I hear you. You may be right. Paul and I had a big, let's just say a pleasant argument. He was giving me crap because I said Baez is the third best dirt 3-year-old in the world. This race does not back off of that at all. This horse has got talent, Chris. He broke well. He was on the inside. You could say Sovereignty wasn't cranked. Okay, maybe he wasn't. He lost to Sovereignty by a length. Fair and square. Sovereignty was better today. Fair and square. But I don't think Baeza, every time he's run well, Chris, in California, and you know it because you've seen it, he was on the outside of horses. He wants to be on the outside of horses, and he's still learning and developing. I don't know if we've seen Sovereignty's best, but I know we have not seen Baez's best. For sure, I feel extremely confident about that, and I am fascinated to see what happens going forward. And I hate to say it to all the journalism people out there, I think in a few months from now, Baez is going to be the better animal than journalism. I personally believe that, and I have nothing against journalism. It's just my gut feel.
So, Howard, would you go, if you're Baeza, do you go to the Travers?
Yes.
Yeah.
I said on the show Thursday that he'd have to run very big here for Sheriffs to want to go to the Travers. And I think
if you're going to go to the Travers, right, you have to stay at Saratoga and train over the course.
I don't see why they would want to go back to California and then ship back. I mean, I would agree. Don't you want to see Baez in the Travers? Is he not a factor at all in the Travers?
No, I think he is. But if I'm Sheriffs, I leave him in New York, and I leave Barrios there and try and get him a few mounts here and there, and have him work that horse over the next few weeks until the Travers, and give him another shot, and hopefully you get a better post position draw, and you get Sovereignty in the 1 or 2 hole, and go from there. You get to the outside.
My only small complaint, very small complaint, and then we'll get to what is Delmar next. I don't want this to make this the whole show, but obviously that was the best or the second most important race of the day today, outside of the Bing Crosby. What do we got to Woodbine, Chris, please? Or Delmar?
We got 1 minute to Woodbine, the last race of the day, and then we've got 8 minutes to Delmar.
All right, we'll continue our discussion a little bit later here. Let me go ahead and switch to Woodbine for the last race. Great race, by the way. Great race. Again, I'm sorry, everyone. There were several $1,000s on the line for me, and I'm not, Mr. Moneybag. So that was important to me. And I thought he was coming back there. It sure looked like that for a minute.
Public sees
all
it.
hats off to Sovereignty. Here's Woodbine, ladies and gentlemen.
Argento is 5
coming up on
to
the
1.
screen. Last race of the day.
And number 9, Mobula, 6 to 1. They come forward with Tanzanite Lily and Remarkably Human. Going up to the line is Monty's in to gate 4. Just behind the start, Beach Cricket. Monty's in, walks in.
I'm on the 9 here, Howard. Entertainment wager on the 9.
Beach Cricket and the stablemate. Well, Argento has drawn gate number 6.
I've reached my max capacity.
Okay. To gate 7.
Keeping this in my account.
Kevin Nichols on Call Me KK to gate number 8. Joining the line is Mobula. For the barn of Nathan Squires, Mobula, Cloud Rider and Sahin Savachi move in. Out wider is Daisuke Fukumoto with Naughty Destiny. And they're almost right. Love to Dream to gate 12. Waiting for 3 of them. Love to Dream, My Emmy, and Abino Bay And it is a Beano Bay to the outside. Start coming up. In the gate, locked up. Off they race, a tremendous start. Away well was Mobula and Naughty Destiny. Going through is Monty's in for the early lead, and up the inside, Simpatico and Tanzanite Lily vying. A line of 4 with Monty's in the center. A length and a half in behind them is Scat Girl, and also Mo Argento is on the pace with Naughty Destiny. Over on the inside, Beach Cricket, followed by Miami. They got clear of Call Me KK Cloud Rider, a gap in the field to a Beano Bay, Love to Dream, and well back is Remarkably Human at the tail end. Racing out in front narrowly, Simpatico, Tanzanite Lily, and 3 wide, Monty's in. Tucking in beautifully is Mo Argento, who's over on the inside of Mobula. Behind them, Scat Girl is right there. Around them goes Naughty Destiny, 1.5 to Miami. Beach Cricket the inside, splitting them, Call Me KK from Cloud Rider, Beano Bay, and tailed off is Remarkably Human in behind Love to Dream as they corner. And now Tanzanite Lily after Simpatico still in front. Mo Argento to the inside. Running home is out wide of the track. Scat Girl. And Scat Girl races up on the outside to challenge Simpatico.
Come on, Ryan.
Argento, a line of 3, and down the outside is also Naughty Destiny, and Mobula's running as well. On the outside, Scat Girl from Mo Argento as they come inside the 16th, and Scat Girl keeps on going here. And Scat Girl and Walker winning Mo Argento, Mobula, and then Simpatico. A Beano Bay came flying out wider on the track, and over near the inside, it was Cloud Rider, the time 1:16.14.
You know, Chris, I don't know if you saw that. They had a low ground shot. I've never seen that angle ever.
Yeah.
At Woodbine. Have you ever seen that before on their
different.
outer turf?
Different.
That's the first time literally I've ever seen Woodbine have that camera shot. I'm not sure why they did that, but okay. I'm watching the Saratoga. I'm watching the Jim Dandy again. Our group chat is sort of on fire. A lot of people are talking about this race. I give Barrios honestly an 8.5 out of 10 in terms of the quality of his ride. I thought he rode very well there. I'm not.
Yeah,
the inside is not the place that I want him to be. I talked about all week long, and he broke well. I just saw him just a little better right now. Not by a lot, in my personal opinion. Not by a lot, but definitely better. Obviously.
Not a world beater for sure, Howard, but we've got Del Mar in 5 minutes.
Okay.
When did you want to wrap here, my friend?
We are going to, let's see, we've got 18 minutes of Saratoga. We can wrap. Well, we were going to go to 6:30, Chris. So I think we'll wrap after the Saratoga race. How's that?
Okay.
Race. So we'll show 2 more races, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and switch over to Del Mar. Why don't you talk about the Del Mar race? And we'll come back to the Jim Dandy at the end of the day here, Chris.
All right, we're going to Del Mar. Let me just get my stuff reset here. Race number 3 for Del Mar. So I got 4 horses here that I think can win. 7, 2, 5, and 6. And in terms of the wagering, 7, 2, 5, and 6. The 7's 31 to 1, and I give this horse somewhat of a chance. 7, 2, 5, 6. Ratio, obviously riding well, leading rider there at 5 to 1, 7, 2. Miranda for Gary Mandela. Edmund Maldonado is the favorite at 5 to 1. And
did you say the 7, Chris, on top? Are you sure about that?
Let me go back, look, because
it's on the screen right now, Chris. The PPs are on the screen. Chris,
yeah. This is race number 2 or 3,
no, it's race
right?
3.
Race 3. Oh no, sorry. Race 3. 2, 5, 6, 8.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
2, 5, 6, 8. So Chris has got the 2. It's a 5 furlong turf sprint for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds, and up. State breds, optional 20. You're only with Cayucos for Mandela and Fresu.
They're now approaching the starting gate.
We'll definitely show a lot of speed for sure, Chris. I'm
Howard,
a strong opinion here.
It's a side note, was the place I went with my family back in my youth. Great camping area out there on the coast, the west coast of California.
Cayucos.
That
Okay.
is correct.
And then don't take this for gospel. I'm speed handicapping. I mentioned number 3 Summer Lake for Carla Gaines. Cutting back a little bit, Ricky Gonzalez. I think underrated. I don't love that she's in for 20, but honestly, I didn't look at this race very carefully. But I think the 3 is a bit interesting, Chris. Let me go ahead and get the... Actually, I think the sound is on. The sound is on. We got 2 minutes to post. Still trying to decompress, Chris.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
How about my hot take that a few months Baeza is better than journalism? Agree or disagree?
I don't disagree. I think Baeza is still learning, get better. I mean, if you look at the progressions with Sherris does with his training, that could certainly be the case. You know, people are predicting that horse to be the Breeders' Cup Classic winner, which would be super. For me, I would rather have that nice trophy with 3 corners. It's all silver, but instead of having the Breeders' Cup Classic trophy, but you know, we'll kind of get there from there.
You want to read that from Brad Anderson at the bottom of the screen, Chris?
4-1. I'm not, you know, the daily double from those 2 races. I'm not going to try and pronounce that other name.
Kalandagan.
2-1 on Daisy Flyer Sovereignty, thanks to Howard. HHH fan for life. That's who Brad is. Brad and I talked earlier about today, and I was like, Howard and I are on.
It's post time.
Are on, you know, that level that we were on. He's like, I'm on 70. I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
I got a question for Brad. Brad, put your answer in the chat. I know you're listening. Do you have any interest in our group pick 5s at Saratoga? Because I don't know. We were going to maybe include you. I don't know. We'll see.
First
put
two
it in the chat, Brad.
Will be
If you want a piece of our group
Darlin
pick 5s.
Tammy.
I'm going to say no. Brad's not a pick 5. He's a double. And he's a chuck-eating weasel. He knows that.
I guarantee you the answer is going to be yes. They're going to the gate race 3, our last race we're covering here live. Delmar,
the next one.
5 furlong. Let's just let
Strand going in.
The docile tones of a Larry Comus call the race.
I'm going to go with some 6 here, Howard. Looking for a little 6 love with a few different options. I like the double into the next, which would be the 5 and the 8. 6 over 5 and 8.
Rousing.
I'm going to go very softly with a little tray ball here.
The last 2 to load, Summer Lake and Goodnight Nelly. Summer Lake coming up. Goes in. They're off. Summer Lake and Goodnight Nelly both out of the gate sharply, and these 2 will vie for the early lead. Rousing Jewel came out running in third, 2 lengths off of them. Then Quick Omen toward the inside, and checking there was Marinda in the middle of the pack. Marinda took up sharply. So it is Summer Lake and Goodnight Nelly, the 2, as they race for the far turn. Then it's Quick Omen on the inside. Cayucos running along in 4th position. No Cap is 5th, and moving 3 wide on the far turn. Rousing Jewel is next. Then comes C Strand. Marinda trying to regain her stride after checking on the backstretch, and then Darlin Tammy on the outside. They're coming toward the top of the stretch. Summer Lake turning for home in front with a 2.5 length lead here and a furlong left. Then Goodnight Nelly in second. No Cap on the outside trying to close in, and Quick Omen down toward the rail. Summer Lake still there with a 16th to go. Summer Lake and Ricky Gonzalez have it won. Summer Lake to score by 2.5. Heads up and down for second. Either Goodnight Nelly or No Cap, and then came Quick Omen.
Howard, those inside posts on those turf sprints are really tough.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, we got Paul Halloran live in the paddock. Let's go and bring on Paul Halloran right now for his reaction of a fantastic. Oh, look who's here. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Junior Alvarado. What's up, my buddy? How you doing, Junior?
How you doing, guys? How are you?
Junior, great to see you, my friend. Paul, thanks for bringing on Junior. Junior, tell us, congratulations, my friend. Tell us about the trip. Tell us about the trip.
You know, it's very good trip, you know, kind of like we were expecting. You know, he came out of the gate today even more sharp than the last time. You know, he put himself into a good spot right there. in the backside, what was kind of everybody was wondering, what happened in the backside. Just like, Hector Berrios is asking his horse Baeza to kind of get out in the clear. I never felt any need for me to start fighting right there and trying to hustle any position. Use my horse just to keep him in there. I thought that wasn't necessary at all. I just had to trust my horse and like I said, just let him do whatever he wanted to do. Use his horse a little early and like I said, I mean, I asked my horse just to win the race. I asked him enough to win the race. We didn't have to get to the bottom or everything out of him today.
Junior,
Go ahead, Chris.
Junior, great ride. I think you planned it out very well the way you did that. Did you feel like you had everything underneath you, or was he fully cranked?
He was never fully cranked, and he was never fully asked for everything today neither. So I will put it that way. Today was a prep. Same thing. We did the same thing heading into the Kentucky Derby, into the Belmont. So for us, it will be the Travers and the Classic. Now this was just a race prep for him.
Junior, I know you only have a few minutes, but we have a lot of people in the live chat. If you're in the live chat right now, we got Junior Alvarado. Ask any questions, and I'll try to get them on screen. Junior, I thought you did a great job getting early position and forcing Baeza to stay in the pocket, because I thought one of the best ways that Baeza could have won is to get outside right away and sort of just sit that perfect trip. But you sort of forced Hector very cleanly, as you said, but sort of forced him to make that middle move. And so I guess the question is, were you always planning, Junior, to use Sovereignty a little bit earlier into the race and force Baeza's hand a little bit?
Yeah, as a jockey, you kind of have to study the race and see everything, like different scenarios that can happen. And that was actually the last one that I come into Bill. And I Bill, like Hector Berrios is riding this horse. He always ride him like very close to the pace. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to put his horse right up there, but everything has to depend just how my horse breaks. And like I said, he broke good. I couldn't give it that right away to him. And like I said, my horse was fine at the early stage. And then, when we turned the backside, I just kept my horse into a rhythm. I didn't need to get into a fight. I knew what I have underneath me. So.
Last question, Junior.
Go, Howard.
All right.
All right. Hey, thanks, Junior. Thank you, Junior.
How's that, Howard? All right?
Yeah, that's all right.
And you've always been a great friend. Now you might be best friend status today. The question I was going to ask him, Paul, is on the final turn, Berrios sort of floated him out, but I thought that was good race riding. In fact, Berrios was going left-handed, Paul, on the turn. I was going to ask Junior if he felt like that cost him any lengths or if he had any issue with that. Well, how do you feel about that?
He said when he was interviewed, Howard, he actually probably went a little wider than he needed to. He didn't, like he said, he didn't want to get in any kind of peeing contest with Baeza. And he also did not want to strike the lead too early. So I think he went a little, what he said in the original scrum was he probably went a little wider than he needed to, even though, as you say, Baeza did float a little bit. But I think his idea was, he didn't want to get to the lead too quickly. And, he was asked about Baeza, if he had plenty left. And he did not get near the bottom of that horse today. And I suspect by design. They did, Dan Pride, as he walked in the winner's circle, had a great quote. He said, "Survive and advance." He said that was a tourney game. And that's what they did. And as I said, he might just be good enough. We know without doubt Baeza was fully cranked, and Baeza's a good horse. But I think a key was how he broke, and you mentioned it. And he didn't ask him. That's one thing people need to realize about this horse. He is tractable. He's a one-run closer who can be involved in the race early. So seeing him break like I was right here in the winner's circle when he broke like second, anything can happen, but that was about it.
Hey, Paul, is there any chance that Bill Mott's nearby, or is he too busy with other interviews and other people?
He is not.
Okay.
He is not. He is probably drinking champagne as we speak.
Brad Anderson, you are the king of Saratoga. Great interview. We have now interviewed big-time trainers and jockeys, Chris, on this show on Weekend Warriors. We're the only podcast that's doing that. I don't know why we don't have 10,000 people watching right now, but those of you watching just got a treat. Paul, can we talk about Baeza a second?
Sure.
I thought he ran huge. Now look, maybe Sovereignty wasn't cranked fully. He almost came back on a mid-stretch, or at least it felt that way watching the pan shot. We talked about this all week. I really think the rail did Baeza no favors. I have zero issue, and I mean zero issue, with that early middle move. I think Barrios had to get off the rail. I think he actually rode a great race. Is there any scenario in which you can see Baeza turning the tables a month from now in the Travers?
No.
Okay.
That was quick.
There you go.
Well,
but how would
the
you?
reason
How
I say that, you know, Junior was asked about that. You know, in fact, I talked to him before I brought him on with us. You know, I said the only way that Baeza was going to beat was by getting more separation. And he basically said he wasn't going to get more separation. That's really what he said.
Yeah.
He, you know, he is just supremely confident in this. Oh, my favorite song.
5 minutes to post at the 11th at Saratoga. Paul Halloran, we're going to give you the horn for that interview.
We all have to have a favorite song, Howard. But no, you know, it's funny. When I walked from the paddock to the track, I scanned to see if Junior had a ride in this race, and I was happy to see when he didn't, just in case what happened. You know, so it just worked out. And you know, it doesn't work out if he's not a tremendously accessible and tremendous human being. You know,
Paul, I'll let you go in a minute. I just want to end with a few thoughts, and I want you to respond. You can be right and wrong at the same time. I picked Baeza, but I think he ran very big. He's just, you know, I think circumstances and just a complete monster beat him today. My question for you is, when it comes to Breeders' Cup time, I firmly believe Baeza will be a better animal than journalism. I think Baeza is still learning personally. Your thoughts on that one comment? Not to piss off all the journalism people.
One time a year.
Yeah, well, I agree with you on how he ran, and you know, we talked about it just a few minutes ago. You know, John Sherrill. You just look at the workout reports. He was cranked up to win this race, as he should be. You know, he needed. Now, as far as Sheriffs goes, if the idea was we want to see if we should come back for the Travers, I think your answer is yes. Because right now,
yes, absolutely,
I mean, he's run second and third to Sovereignty, and journalism's run second twice. So he's right there. You know, I absolutely think he could continue to move forward. And Howard, I want the Baeza talk. I want the Sovereignty talk. I want the mind frame talk when it comes to that time of year. Please talk about fierceness. I want to hear all of it. I love all those horses.
Paul, last thing. Oh, sorry, Chris. Go ahead. Go ahead, Chris.
Can't wait to the Breeders' Cup. I mean, we've got an epic thing coming on here with the Breeders' Cup. That is going to be a ton of fun as we get there, but we still got a couple of hoops to jump through, and the Travers is one of them.
We do.
4 weeks. It's a 4 week. I was just talking to Michael Banahan. I said, see you in 5 weeks. He goes, I think it's 4. And it is 4.
Yeah. And Paul, we got 4 weeks to talk about it, but I'll end with this. If Magnitude is in that race, that does not do Baeza any favors. That only helps Sovereignty, in my opinion. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes, I do agree with that statement. And I think Sovereignty, I'm going to stay with Sovereignty in either case.
And before we drop it, Paul, everybody should go and Google and follow the Saratoga Special, the best Saratoga newsletter race paper that you can get there on site. Lots of great articles, lots of great picks. It's just something you should follow. It's a really, special thing. So.
And no assignments for me today, Howard. I've just enjoyed a wonderful day at the track. I'm on assignment for the HHH podcast, clearly.
This is horseracing.com. Wow, look at that, Paul. This is horseracing.com is where you can find Paul's articles. Paul, please say hi to Dr. Jeff and to Bob and everyone else. What a great coverage. Thanks a lot, Paul. We greatly appreciate it, my friend.
Good.
Have a great rest of the week. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Take care, Paul. Bye-bye. Wow. I mean, how lucky are we, Chris? Unbelievable. We got Junior Alvarado minutes after the biggest race of the day.
I asked him a question. You asked him a question. Super generous with his time.
Great guy.
All to get him on with us. The answers are genuine. It's just good stuff. You don't get that anywhere else. I mean,
No.
we don't go race to race. We dig deep. We dive into things. We kind of try and expose a lot of stuff and not just be degenerates.
We got 1 minute to Saratoga. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please, please, please. If you want to help us out, the best thing you can do is spread the word, especially with our Weekend Warrior shows. I realize it's on Saturdays. We do not have a Weekend Warrior show. We do. Sorry. We have a Weekend Warrior show tomorrow, Sunday, as well. So please join us Sunday. There's a minute left to Saratoga's next race. I have a power pick play here with the 5. By the way, the 9 is a huge late scratch. The 9, I think Hello Beauty was going to be the favorite, is a big late scratch. I was interested in the 5 horse before the scratch. I'm interested in the 5 in more now. That's Will of a Woman, who I thought had a little bit of a tricky trip. He's going to need to improve, but I think he's got a shot in here. With the 9 out, that really opens things up here. Do you have a thought in race 11, the last race we're going to show here today, or that we're going to listen to at Saratoga, Chris?
Not really. I was on the 6 there with this one, Howard, and my alternate one was the 9. So probably somewhere a 6-9 exacta, something like that, trying to get something cute. I didn't have time to look at a double here. I didn't really deal with anything in terms of anything further on this race. But Howard, what time do we go off tomorrow?
Tomorrow we are at, I put it out there, I believe 3:30 Eastern. I will double check that. It's on the website, Chris. Go to the website, or sorry, go to the YouTube channel. I think it's 3:30. Let me just check. Why? I should know. I know. It's 3:30 Eastern tomorrow. There's some really nice graded steaks at Woodbine tomorrow. So please watch. There'll be a great show. Again, they're going to the post. I just full discrepancy here. I'm alive to 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. With the 9 out, I now default to the 6. So if the 6 wins, I'll be alive for the pick 5 twice. By the way, that pick 3 that ended in Sovereignty was like 130 for $1, which is incredible. So either the 2 was playing bigger in the first leg, Chris, or what I really think is that everyone is using that Lavender horse and Classic Q, and the 3 really upset the apple cart there in the pick 5, which could be great for me. I still got to get 7 or 10 home in the last race in a bit of a cluster. So who the hell knows? You know what? It's darkening up a little bit. I hate to say it at Saratoga, and it looked a little bit cloudy with Paul too. So let's just hope that they get these last 2 races in. We'll go bring up the sound right now for race 11, Chris. What a day here on the HHH Racing Podcast. That junior interview will go up on X, ladies and gentlemen, in about 20 minutes or so.
And don't forget, you've got Saratoga tomorrow, I think, with you and Pete Bisco in the morning.
Yes.
And I will be with you in the afternoon at the kickoff for Weekend Warriors on Sunday. Can't wait.
Top right-hand corner, by the way, again, as our Power Pick tip sheet, that QR code. Take your camera, click on it. That's the Saturday only Power Pick tip sheets. Win a lot of money here. Excellent opinions right there at Chris's point. So I'll leave that on the screen for this race. I do have the sound on, so we should get it once Mr. Meyer. There we go.
There we go. 11th.
I'll just let him talk it through. I'll have very little to say here, unless the 5 makes a move in the stretch. Then I might be yelling.
I'll be right there with you.
All right.
Tahila's in.
I will say if the 6 doesn't win, that's going to change this pick 5 entirely, because the 9 was going to be the favorite and scratch. So I definitely do not want the 6, even though we would have it twice.
And Starship Pegasus.
Terry Frank, if you know it, Riding on the Metro, that's a good Berlin song.
In the gate. And they're off. And it was a very even start. Night Jasmine is out very alertly on the extreme outside. Sassetti is rushing into contention. Will of a Woman is in between those two and will take the 3rd spot as they round the first turn. Then comes Starship Pegasus, who's in the clear. Red Cap on the outside, 4 lengths off the lead. They are followed by On a Summer Day. Tahila is next along the inside with the orange cap, and a 3 wide Reina Noche is some 7 lengths off the pace. The 2 trailers, Nona Lynn, off script at the back. The opening quarter went in 24 1/5 seconds. So they run down the back stretch. Joel Rosario and Night Jasmine in hand, in command. 2-length lead. Sassetti makes it 2 grays on the front end. Will of a Woman has settled well third. And then it's Starship Pegasus, who's fourth. Now 6 lengths off this leader, Night Jasmine, who's trying to sneak away around the
Don't
far
let this
turn.
horse get loose,
Then
guys.
comes Tahila racing on the inside of On a Summer Day, who's 8 lengths off the pace. Reina Noche is next. At the rail, Nona Lynn.
Here they come.
Voice colors, yet to make some headway, has 10 to make up. And in behind her comes Off Script. The half went in 48 2. They're coming to the quarter pole. Sassetti is right at Night Jasmine. Those two stride for stride. And here's Nona Lynn, who's been saving ground and cut loose.
Come on, Johnny V, fight here in between.
In the center of the course, here she comes.
Fight!
And Will of a Woman is trying to go
he's
with
coming
her down
over
on the
on
inside.
us.
Off Script has surfaced late. Nona Lynn with a devastating burst of speed has the lead. Off Script is coming fast. It will be Nona Lynn. One to watch.
Wow.
Off Script was second. Sassetti finished third. Will of a Woman was fourth.
Nona Lynn with a huge move on the far turn for Manny Franco, and Chad goes off as the favorite. So I don't really love that. That's going to lower the pick 5 quite a bit, but I have it for $1. Johnny V was in between. I thought the 6 sort of came over, but Johnny V just didn't quite have the horse.
Number
I would have
6,
liked
Nona
to
Lynn
see
was first.
Yeah.
3 Off Script.
a little more of an aggressive move there, but it didn't matter. Nona Lynn with a very nice effort there at 2-1 for Chad winning another turf race. Chris Walsh had a lot of fun today, my friend.
Yeah, I did too. Howard, with this winner here, we're Chad. If you know, you know. I'm going to listen to a little bit of Pink Floyd tonight when I have a little dinner.
sounds good. Nona Lynn with the victory. There's still one more race left at Saratoga. Final takes, Chris, of anything that we saw today, especially at Saratoga or Woodbine.
Woodbine, I think, was average. I had one winner today, a couple winners today. Wasn't as great as the previous weeks. Couldn't get some long shots home, but did get a couple of other ones to make it a profitable day. But, the junior interview with Paul, I think, made the show. You don't get that anywhere else. Nobody else. There isn't another podcast here. Maybe FanDuel is getting that. Maybe Naira is getting that. But we got Paul Halloran and Junior answering our questions and just really giving an honest opinion about what we asked. And, just good stuff. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Ron the Man 1964. Good stuff. We'll be back here with you tomorrow doing Weekend Warriors. Paul and Pete will be with you tomorrow, like 10:30, 10:45, something like that, on Saratoga today, where you get an early look on the early pick 5. And then we'll be back here tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. It's just fun stuff. It's great community. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell everybody else in the world. Retweet everything you can. Brad Anderson, we certainly appreciate you as well. Good stuff. Howard, I'll let you have the final word.
Well said, Chris. I got to say, I was a little bit hesitant to do these shows on a consistent basis because there's a lot of competition out there. We all know it. We come on a little bit later. At this point, Chris, I don't even care about the numbers. I wish we had more people watching. I think we will as more people realize that we're on only YouTube and etc. But I'll tell you what, the community is so awesome. The people in the chat are so awesome. We're giving away every week 5-1, 7-1s, 22-1 doubles, all this, stuff. And so having a lot of fun. And tomorrow there's really good racing at Woodbine. And by the way, Chris, I think you said Paul, I will be on tomorrow with Pete. I'm hosting Saratoga tomorrow, Sunday morning with Pete Visco, who's, by the way, liked the 6 in that race. So I want to give some shout out to Pete Visco. That wraps it up. The big story of the afternoon so far, although there's big races at Del Mar coming up. Sovereignty in a thrilling victory over Baeza in the Jim Dandy. For co-host and good friend Chris Walsh, this has been Howard Kravitz, episode 5 of Weekend Warriors. Crush your bets tonight at Del Mar, and we'll see you tomorrow, Saratoga Today, and Weekend Warriors. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.